A very good morning to our esteemed judges, our top 15 teams, and everyone present here today to witness the grand final presentation. Welcome to the fourth day of Varsity Hackathon 2022, also known as 𝐕𝐵𝐚𝐬 2022. I'm Iris.
And I'm 𝐕𝐵𝐚𝐬𝐿.
And we are your MCs for today. We hope that you're all having a great day and are well prepared for the fourth day of this event. To our top 15 teams, congratulations on your great achievement in entering the final round of 𝐕𝐵𝐚𝐬 2022. The flow of each live presentation is as follows. Every team is given 10 minutes to execute the live presentation. You are provided with 7 minutes to pitch your project. At the 6-minute 45-second mark, the bell will be sounded once to indicate that the team is time to wrap up the pitch. At the 7-minute mark, the bell will be sounded twice to indicate the end of the pitch. The pitch will then be followed by 3 minutes of Q&A session. At the end of the 3-minute Q&A session, the bell will be sounded twice again to indicate the end of the Q&A.
Before we proceed with our event, a huge thank you to our humble judges who have agreed to be on board to assist with the difficult task of selecting the winners. It is necessary that we provide an appropriate introduction to the backgrounds of our judges to officially start off the event today. Introducing our judges, we have Professor Lau Hsien Loon, the Associate Dean and Head at Summer University, Mr. Yap Man Fong, the Director of NAPTRIX, Mr. Ho Yi Chang, the CEO of Forward School. Next up, we also have Mr. Yor Sen, Data Scientist from Intel Corporation, Mr. Lim Kok Leong, Senior Product Manager from NCS Intel, and last but not least, Mr. Leong Yok Tien, the co-founder of Hackathon Kaki. We would like to express our heartfelt thanks to our esteemed panel of judges for their time in becoming the external judges of 𝐕𝐵𝐚𝐬 2022. To our audience from YouTube, feel free to hit the like button to show your support.
Be sure to share the YouTube live stream and get all your family and friends to watch the exciting presentations of our top 15 teams.
If you have captured any photos or videos of today's event, please tag us on our social media at 𝐕𝐵𝐚𝐬.usm for Instagram and Varsity Hackathon 2022 for Facebook.
Don't forget to also add the hashtag #DiscoverWhat'sPossible and feel free to follow us on our social media and check out our website 𝐕𝐵𝐚𝐬usm.com.
Alright, it is the moment that all of you have been waiting for. Every team, please get prepared. It is time for you to present your creative and innovative ideas to the judges.
Alright, so our very first team to present their project Charicity with the team members 𝐕𝐚𝐬𝐤, Tan Teck Xian, Chia Chin Xiong, Alvin Chong Zhen Hui, and Lu Kai. Please get ready to impress your judges. Your 7 minutes starts now. Team 1, when you're ready, you can proceed to take over the presentation with your own slide, and you may begin now.
A common misconception about charity is that it can be only done by the rich. However, in charity, we offer everyone the equal chance to empower the society, becoming a better place for you and me. Good day to all the judges. My name is 𝐸𝐤𝐤, and I'm representing our team to present our business idea. Our project is a mobile application named Charity, and we believe that this is a modern way for charity, especially for now where most of the things are going online. The study case we are going to solve is case study 4, which is about poverty and white flag movement that has been a hot issue recently in Malaysia. There are 3 main problems that we are trying to solve. Firstly, we found out that the people who need help are mostly too ashamed to ask for help, and this is probably due to their egotism. We also noticed that there is a lack of a trusted platform that can be trusted by most of the people to do charity. Not only that, we also think that the current existing charity methods handle charity in a very ineffective way. So, we want to simplify ways to do charity. But how? That's when charity comes into play. With the buy as a donation motto, our application features anonymity, which allows anyone to give or ask for help without identifying themselves to the others. Secondly, charity is convenient. It will let anyone get help or help others in a very easy manner. Next, charity also allows donors to know what exactly is needed by the needy. Charity targets those who need help financially, which is our needy, and those who want to do charity, our donors. Now, what if there's someone who actually does not need support but still try to pretend as a needy? And that's when our verification system takes into effect. Charity allows the freedom for needy to choose to be verified or not. If they are verified, they can enjoy benefits like unlimited of submitted charity requests with no limit in amount of donation. For those who are unverified, they will be able to submit only one charity request with a capped donation of 100 ringgit Malaysia. Now, introducing our application, Charity. One of our main features is our charity system. As an individual, he or she can ask for help by submitting a charity request. As an organization, they can also submit a request in a similar fashion to raise funds. On the UI side, there will be a small flag specifying whether the charity request is held by the individual or non-government organization. The request will be categorized into new, in progress, and completed charity requests with a blue and gray tick to inform the donor whether the needy is verified or unverified. This UI shows one of the examples of the request. It will show the categories of the item needed by the anonymous user. It also shows the goal of the amount needed. The description, history of donation, and comments can also be found on this page. Next, this screen shows the charity form that can be submitted by any individual or organization about their needs. To verify themselves as a needy, some documents are required to verify their background, such as their identification card, B40 documents, and so on. Next, Charity also has a built-in marketplace so that the public can buy the item as a donation. This UI shows our main page of the shop. By choosing one of the items shown in the list, a page will be opened. showing the description and the price of the item. Once the items are added to the donation box, the donor can then check out and pay using the provided payment gateway in our apps. Charity also has a map features that show all the location of food banks and donation points. This allows donors to search for nearby donation points and also know where to donate their items. Once a donation point is selected, a description of the donation point is displayed. Donors can fill in this donation form as shown on the right to keep as a record for all parties involved. So, Charity is a C2C business model, which means customer to customer. Our business sustained by taking a cut from the transaction made. Once the donor decides to buy the products, we will charge 2% on the product and a fixed 20 cents on the delivery fee. For our delivery service, we plan to collaborate with our local delivery partners such as Ninja Van, Post Laju, Lalamove, DHL Express, and many more, in order to lower our delivery fee. It is inevitable to compare Charity to our competitors. Here we feature 𝐸𝐤𝐤𝐿 and 𝐷𝐵𝐴 as comparison. Charity outperforms 𝐸𝐤𝐤𝐿 and 𝐷𝐵𝐴 in the terms of certain aspects. Charity is anonymous, while the other two shows user information on their site. Both Charity and 𝐸𝐤𝐤𝐿 present specific views of needs by the user and provide delivery service. In the terms of marketplace, only Charity has these features. Here are all the core members behind Charity, and we are all from USM. We aim to create a trusted platform which allows more opportunities for any of us to do charity, not just any large charity groups, but also individuals like you and me. And we hope that Charity can bring a positive impact in the long run to our society. That's all from our group. Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much Team 1 for your presentation. To the judges, you may now begin with your questions, and the 3 minutes countdown starts now. Alright, Judge 𝐸𝐤𝐿, you may begin with your question.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so my question is people who may need help may not be familiar with the system, right? What if someone actually submit on behalf of them and take a cut from it? How do you ensure that this is being avoided? You got my question?
Can you repeat again?
Yeah, so what I mean is if I'm the one that need help, right? But
Yeah.
how to use the system, right? But then there is someone as a bidder person that go around and ask people that all of them that need help, and then they submit on behalf of them. Definitely they can get their documents, all this for verification. How do you ensure that the people that submitting on behalf is not the fake one? I mean, they take a cut from those people that really in need. Because you need verified through NRIC and one of the I heard a status, right? Other than these two, what else do you verify?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can.
So our system, right? If the needy, they do not know how to use the system, they can ask for like charity organizations can assist them to register on the system. So you as a needy, you need to verify your IC, your financial status, those kind of documents. Yeah.
I understand, but my question is, what if someone with the ill intention to break through your system, right? If let's say I want to take a cut of profit from the donations, right? I will be the one that initiating the initiative to go and find the needy, and I will tell the needy I will submit on your behalf. I will only probably, if you ask for $100, right? I mean 100 ringgit, right? I will only give you 50 ringgit.
Yeah.
I'll take a cut from it. Yeah.
Okay, so hi, morning, Judge. So so based on your question, right? If let's say there are someone who have bad
Intention.
bad intention to, let's say, scam the needy. Actually, our system the final stage to pass the things to the needy is actually ourselves. So even though the charity group is helping the guy to, like, let's say, register in our system, right? But as long as we collect all the things like foods and clothes and money, we will pass it ourselves, which means our system, not the charity group. So we can make sure that there's no scam between charity group and the needy, because we will do it ourselves.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Judge Yok Tian.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I actually have two questions.
Mm.
First of all, congratulations for being top 15.
Thank
The
you.
first question is, so the needy most likely is the people that are hungry. Probably they don't have a computer or even an internet plan, right? Because they don't even have something to eat. Then how do they use your platform?
Wow. Over the years, man.
Okay, so for your question, yeah, there are some, I would say, needy. Yeah, some of them might have some bad service in their area, for example, like internet connection, or maybe that there are lack of electronic device for them to use. So, for these matters, we think of the reason that we want charity group to register with us is actually because to help those people, this kind of people, because if let's say they don't have any access to our system, charity group can assist them in the electronic devices matters. So yeah, through this way of helping, we can solve this problem. So does
Okay.
my answer your question?
So I have a further question to your answer. So if they were to reach out the charity group, then what's the point of your system to them? They can straight away get the help from the charity group.
Okay, so actually the current problem between the current donation method, right, is actually because once a charity group initiate a donation intention, right, so there are a lot of people who don't have there are a lot of people who don't have probably like individual you and I probably I have small capital to help them, but I can't help because I don't have the ways to help them. Normally in current modern way, right, charity is mostly helped by those those who are rich. So our system actually provides a more vast methods of donation where anyone can use our system to help them, which is using the marketplace or donate the money in our app also. So this can provide a better way and a vast method compared to the old way. So these are the benefits between our way and the charity way. So if let's say the charity group are thinking whether want to use our system or not, they can compare between old way and new way, and then they can see the difference whereby our way can have more chances to get more donation.
Okay. So it will lead to my second question that I really want to ask. Then, yeah. So you already show the other platform, right? Like this Kita Jaga and then Sambal SOS. So this is also the new way that you mentioned, because it's not only for people with a lot of money, so you can donate in small capital. So do you think it's a good or bad thing to create another platform, or would it be a wiser choice if you were to join them and add on the features that they don't have, example the anonymity?
I would say add-on feature is good, but as our team members, right, we think that we can make this up ourselves, and we want to we want to open up a chance for us to do this thing also. So I would say we prefer to do it ourselves rather than joining with others. If let's say there's any why not we try ourselves first, then if let's say there's any problem that we face, probably we can try other way. But as for now, we think that we can do it. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much to Team 1. But unfortunately, the Q&A session has ended and we have a little bit over time. But don't worry, you have done an amazing job. Thank you very much to Charity for a project. I think it's also really interesting to see some concept that is buy as a donation, which brings a different way for the public to do charity easily just from their mobile phones.
Yes, I agree with you as well. And I like that how it's able to preserve the anonymity of the donor and the receiver while still making it convenient for whoever wishes to donate or whoever needs help. So it's a great medium to provide direct and safe donation. All right. So now we are moving on to the second team, which is 𝐸𝐸 Fresh. And the team members are 𝐸𝐤𝐤𝐭𝐲 Cassandra, 𝐈𝐤𝐤𝐿, Rose Amisha Fatiha binti Muhammad Rizal, 𝐅𝐢𝐬𝐧𝐚 Darren Savero, and 𝐸𝐤𝐤𝐚𝐻. Team 2, please be prepared for your presentation, and you may begin now.
Hi, I'm Cassandra from 𝐸𝐸 Fresh. Imagine an evening when you want to buy fresh fish for dinner. The moment you're buying, you realize that there's no stock available, and even if there's stock available, it is very expensive. So here comes two major pain points of Malaysians facing food security. First, food accessibility and availability, caused by lack of transportation, income shortfall, and import supply dependency. Next, expensive food, transparency and hidden costs, caused by multiple tiers of middlemen. So over here, you can see the problem statement, which is the food pricing. So here you can see that as a customer, when you want to buy a fish, there are multiple costs added from tier to tier, such as multiple tiers of transportation, profits, expenses, and so on, where in the end, it is all passed to the customers. So therefore, in 𝐸𝐸 Fresh, we provide the fresh food, we provide this platform where directly gets customers connected with fresh food suppliers, removing the multiple tiers. So we categorize our solution into two sections, fresh food suppliers and customers. In this case, we use fishermen as an example. Our solution concept can also be applied to other fresh food as well. So let's move in and see. So the first one, which is the supply and demand analysis feature. It provides insights for fishermen as they keep up with the demand of the market. Next, we have the platform aid feature, such as sales insights, tutorials, live agents, and so on, which eases the process of fishermen adopting to our platform. And we have the sell more, save more feature applied to our platform charges, where the more a merchant sell in terms of monthly sales, the more they save in terms of transaction percentage fees. This gives the merchant more funds to be utilized and encourage them to bring in more supply to be sold on the platform. For the customer, the last call item discount, where we can have discounts on nearly expired but still edible food to cater to low-income households, and it is aimed to reduce food waste. We also have this gentle reminder on overbuying food and also customizing the shopping experience, which all can be achieved with our user personalized recommendation feature. Finally, we have this community pickup, which is one of our key features in the solution, where it aims to reduce transportation costs as it is placed at high traffic, low-income group saturated areas such as low-cost flats and apartments. The last call item discount and community pickup features are all proposed to lower down the cost of the food. So let's look into detail how our solution works. So next, you can see here, after several customers have completed the payment, the fisherman will deliver those orders to a community pickup point, where the community pickup point will normally be located at areas such as flat houses, apartments, and so on, which are areas that are high density, that has a high density of low and middle class families. This will reduce a lot of transportation costs as compared to delivery to each different addresses. So let's look at our prototype. We have the customer section with home, search, explore, notification, and profile page. Next, we also have the merchant section where we have home, product, explore, orders, and profile page. And finally, let's look at this, which is our prototype visualization of the solutions as mentioned earlier. So next, we'll have a look at our business model. So these are some of the ways where we can keep our platform sustainable. First, 2% transaction fee for each transaction. Next, we have advertisement fees for sellers to get more exposure. And finally, we have a subscription fees for sellers to get more advanced insights such as comparative reports among industry competitors. So for our market segment, we target the people with the demographic of 21 years old and above, earning low to middle income, and also located within apartments or flat areas nearby the pickup point. Majority of them can only afford basic needs, cooks at home, and they can accept nearly expired foods. And they're also thinking of saving as much as possible, prioritizing the price of the food. For the market size, our targeted SOM in the upcoming years is 10% of the fresh fish grocery around Malaysia, which is $30 million. Next, we have the 3 trillion of SAM for all kinds of grocery in Malaysia and 12 trillion of TAM for all kinds of grocery around the world. So currently, the existing platforms available are Facebook Live, Happy Fresh, and 𝐷𝐴sia Grocer. And most of these competitors have basic e-commerce features in common, and they only provide limited insights and analytics for their users. And some of them even struggle to make food accessible and available at all times. However, Kakao Fresh takes the lead for both spectrums. So next, let me just take you to this table where you can identify the proposed solution as mentioned earlier, which tackles all of our pain points, and it sets Kakao Fresh different from its competitors. So for our team, let me do a very brief introduction. I am taking the visionary role and specializing in intelligent systems. Our researchers are Jeremy and Junwei over here, who specializes in data analytics. And we have Rose Amisha and Aurelio as our developer, who specializes in data analytics and intelligent systems, respectively. Lastly, let me just bring this out very excitingly. We're going to implement our upcoming plans where we have this pilot launch in 2022, quarter 3, focusing on fresh fish industry with the service area located around Klang Valley and implementing the community pickup point. In 2023, quarter 1, we aim to lay a very strong foundation where we have vegetables and fruits included, and also we target Selangor as our service area. Moving on to our nationwide expansion in quarter 3 2024, we aim to penetrate the poultry meat industry, offering direct delivery services and including this price tracking feature onto our platform. Finally, in quarter 3 2025, we will have our region expansion in Southeast Asia, introducing new technologies such as drone delivery and NFT food source detail tracking, utilizing blockchain technology. In the future, we plan to even introduce a supermarket concept where we absorb produce from merchants, sell it at a more affordable price. So that's all from Kakao Fresh. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Kakao Fresh. So judges may begin with your questions, and the 3 minutes countdown starts now. So Judge Lim, you can go ahead.
Thanks. Okay, thanks for presentation. Basically, my question is around the business operations type of things. So bear in mind, these fishermen are just ordinary fishermen, right? They might not be IT savvy. So they might even have issues like managing their inventory on the platform itself, right? So how do you ensure that when people place order and over purchase of the selected item that they have, but they have not closed off that item in the inventory list and people already managed to place order and they failed to deliver, is that a way for you to manage, or even they delayed in their delivery? Because in the past, when you have a middle person that's doing the distribution and delivery, right, basically they will be able to ensure that part, right? If they may not able to get the things from suppliers, maybe they can get from other suppliers. But if I'm only the sole supplier in this case, right, how do you ensure through your system? Thanks.
All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Lim, for the question. So for our platform, first of all, we first will target those fishermen, let's say fishermen, that has the proper technology and background to deal with our platform. So that's how we first generate the traffic. And as we generate traffic, we have the revenue. So we'll start employing live agents to deal with the ones who don't really have much business background, we can say, business background for our platform. So these are like the platform aids that we mentioned. And finally, when we move on to a more large scale, we'll have our supermarket where we will approach farmers or fishermen that doesn't have the proper skill set to deal with our platform. So we buy it from them, absorb the produce from them, and sell it at more affordable prices. I hope that answers your question.
And those that really don't have the technology today will be killed off by this platform, right? Because that's not your target audience or your target segment. Right.
Because,
Okay,
yeah.
thanks.
All right, Judge Wilson, you may go ahead with your question.
Okay, hi. Because just now you mentioned that you were one way to do you were planning to do discounting on the near expired goods, right? So that you can really try to offload it to customers who wouldn't mind. But when you do that, I guess one question that comes in mind is you need to ensure that those near expiry goods are still actually consumable, right? I guess that becomes a very huge concern because you don't want to suddenly cause your customers to have diarrhea or food poisoning. So how do you actually do that kind of checking? That yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Judge Wilson, for the question. So for this, in this particular place where we are dealing with nearly expired food, I agree that it's very sensitive for food to get expired, especially when dealing with fresh food. So what we plan to do is we have this guideline being sent for all the fishermen and all the merchants that we have. So saying that your food must at least be 2 to 3 days before they really expire, and when they send off to the customers, it needs to be within 24 hours. So if they order, let's say in the morning, we'll send them into in the afternoon. That's the ideal plan that we have right now. So we have a guideline, strict guideline, to say that this kind of edible food, nearly expired edible food, is needs to apply to this guideline. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay. And I guess another question is that because one thing I'm trying to do is as you're trying to balance the load, right, to balance the supply and demand, I guess you also do some kind of forecasting there. So I guess in order to do forecasting, I guess you have certain data metrics or signals in mind. So I mean, what are those signals that enable you to do that kind of forecasting, especially when at the start, you don't have the customer base, you don't have the supply base, the suppliers base yet. So I mean, you can't really do that kind of cold start problem, right?
Okay, so our plan, you can open to our future plan. Then if you see our future plan, our first phase is to build our customer base, where we focus on getting customer first, and second phase is focus on getting the data of all these customer, and our third phase only focus on using this technology. So this is our plan.
Okay.
All right, thank you, judges, for the questions, and thank you, Team 2. So that's a really amazing presentation on their project, which provides a platform that gets customers connected with fresh food suppliers.
Yeah, I do think it's a win-win situation for the fishermen, because it provides the sales insights for them to help with their business, and at the same time the customers can also save more money and get the fresh food supply at the same time. Alright, so that was the team from Asia Pacific University, and they presented 𝐸𝐸 Fresh. So if you have any watchers from YouTube who are from Asia Pacific University, feel free to give a thumbs up, share to your university friends, and get them to watch the presentations and support your team. Alright, so now the next team that we have that will be presenting their project upcoming, Team 3, which is AgriChain. And the team members are 𝐤𝐤𝐬𝐿, Liu Junbin, Yao Demin, Wei Jason, and Tong Chun Xian. Team 3, are you ready to take it away and present AgriChain? The time is now yours, and you may begin now.
Would the supply chain be healthier if we could control the demand? Good morning to all judges. I'm 𝐤𝐤𝐬𝐿, and my team is solving the problem of uneven supply and the demand of food in Malaysia. There are a few causes of the problem. Firstly, this is caused by retailers stockpiling food products to gain profit by creating a fake demand. Secondly, there is a lack of transparent track of food supply chain, which causes disparity in terms of food products availability from different regions. Thirdly, food wastage occurs as a result of influential buying patterns, which is apparently evidenced during the MCO lockdown period. To solve all of those problems effectively, we came up with AgriChain, which can act as a transparent supply chain platform from the farmers to the consumers. Through this approach, we can connect the whole supply chain, show the current status of each food product, and provide sufficient food supply chain information at the consumer side. These are the screenshots showing our web application. For the farmers, the dashboard will show their farm infos. the current maximum retail price and the recent activity carried out. For the crop sections, they get to record their crops with information of the grade, price, and origin. This is the scheduling part with estimated times and status. They're informed with a timeline from seed preparation to harvesting for each crop. By accessing the sales and report, farmers can get a clear overview of daily harvest, daily sales, monthly average revenue, and excess harvest. To plan for the smoother planting process, they can also schedule ahead by referring to the weather information. For the manufacturers, the dashboard will show the factory info, the current maximum retail price, and the recent activity carried out. They can access their distribution timeline through the distributor sectors. It starts from the order made phase up to the delivery phase. The estimated time and current status are shown as well. Manufacturers can also get a clear view of their past transaction. Each entry is made up of crop name, description describing the grades, payment status of either paid or due, the price, date, and the farm of origin. For the distributor, the dashboard will show the distributor's info, the current maximum retail price, and the recent activity carried out. They can get immediate data regarding the stock they have for each food product by accessing the inventory sections. They can also add new food products manually. The information required are name, price, and quantity. For each food product, they can know in detail the factory from where they were processed in, the serial code, stock quantity, and arrival date. The daily sales and stock categorized by sold, remaining expired are generated in charts for easier visualization. They can also look up any previous transactions. The information provided include items name, description, status of selling fast or out of stock, price, date, and the distributors of origin. For the consumers, they can search for the information of the intended food product. Each product will display the name, price increase or decrease, and the next restock time. They will be shown with recent view of food products based on their past searches. They can filter the search results by type, region, or sort alphabetically, either ascending or descending. Anything searched will be displayed under the search result. By toggling on the favorite button, the interface will show the product they have been pinned earlier. This enables easier and faster reference. By toggling off the button, they will be redirected back to the original default interface. Although the whole food supply chain is involved, we put our focus on the end consumers and the retailers. Consumers are clearly informed of the whole food chain, while retailers get timely information regarding the current demand. As for the market size, our total available market, TAM, includes the agriculture sector, with revenues for 101.5 billion. About 48.2 billion of revenue is generated for the service available market, SAM, which focuses on the local food and grocery retail market. For the serviceable obtainable market, SOM, ideally we can get around 100 million of revenue yearly. For the worst case scenario, we are left with 100 retailers and 10% of consumers in Selangor. To be the cream of the crop, it is vital that we understand clearly our competitors and what makes us stand out. We actively involve the farmers, which are the producer, using a sophisticated website. We put our focus in Malaysia. We have a tracking system which also is the key of solving food wastage right from the roots. To ensure that we are not only self-sustainable but profitable, we pick up two business models. First of it, subscription plans are offered for retailers, which can enable them to gain most data out of the buying trends of the customers. Moreover, we offer software as a service, SaaS, convenience, which enable our system to be integrated by our clients' existing system using APIs. This is our team of brain which enable this brilliant idea to come forth. Different backgrounds were proven crucial in letting us having different perspectives regarding the project. In the near future, we expect to, of course, realize this system and introduce new functionalities. For example, enabling food products to be brought through our website, a prediction system for farmers to make informed decisions in managing their crop sales, and an analyzing system that can help in mitigating the PEST problems are all part of our future plans. The food supply chain has never been so transparent to ensure the food we consume is available, affordable, and of high quality. Let us take action and the chain connecting the blocks. Feel free to contact us for any inquiries regarding our P chain. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Team 3, for presenting your project. To the judges, you may now begin with your questions, and the 3 minutes countdown starts now. So we will begin with Judge Sian Lun.
Okay, I have one question. I already thank you while I muted. How are the recording done? I see that there's a part for farmers to record, right? What they have and to monitor. But it looks like it's all done manually, right? Are you sure that is something the farmers would like to do every day to take diaries of their plants? And second question, what kind of farmers or operators are you looking at? Small farmers or big scale? So I think that the target market is the stakeholders is something I want to know. Thank you. Am I audible or you can't hear me?
Okay, so to answer the first questions, which is how the farmer key in all the data. So firstly, I think we will cooperate with government, and we would like to ensure the farmer will key in the data daily, like because they are using our web applications. So maybe in the future we could apply something like barcode system. They can just scan every of their product and just key in into our web application. And for the sorry, can you repeat your second question?
And what kind of farmers are you focusing on? Small scale, big player, small player? Who will use this system? Or as long as I plant vegetable in my backyard, then I can become your customer?
Oh no. So for the, I think we will more focus on big farmer and also some medium farmer, because the big farmer is mainly focused all the supply chain in Malaysia.
Yeah, because I'm thinking big farmers would have the resources to have some kind of system to manage this already. Would they want to use yours? That's the part you should think about. Yeah, I pass time to another judge due to time. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, my half of the question is the question I want to ask as well. You asked already, Senator asked already. Yeah. Okay, so continuity of the question. Why you guys are decided to use web instead of app, and you even put it as a unique selling point? Like, what is the reason behind and what's so unique about it? Like, you go back to one of your slides, you say you have a unique selling point compared to other competitor. Yeah, you mentioned your platform is website, compared to others is apps. What makes it so special that you want to put it on the slide? And what's the reason behind it?
Yeah, I can take that question. So thank you, Judge Yap, for the question just now. So for a website is actually, because we think for website is accessible from all devices as long as you have a browser, and also there are actually other potentials for website. For example, we can develop into a PWA, so that is accessible, it's installable on mobile devices as well. So it works the same way as the application. So for the technology aspect, we guess website has a more it has a larger potential to implement all the things that we would like to put it into it. Because for example, like data entry, it would be not so convenient if we do it on a small mobile devices. So in that case, we would like to have a larger device in order to do the data entry. But in terms of like viewing the data, we would like to have a small mobile, like we can carry around and look at the stock and maybe look at the data as well. So in that case, we can put it onto mobile devices in that case. So we guess website, it has that flexibility in between. Yeah, that's all from me.
All right, thank you very much to Team 3 for your presentation and also for tackling the judges' questions. It was not easy, I believe, but you guys have done it. All right, so congratulations. And it's really interesting also to see a project that uses blockchain technology for food supply chain to make the overall system more transparent.
Yes, blockchain technology is actually the trend now. So it's great to see our participants innovating and brainstorming projects to make our food supply more affordable, available, and safe. All right, so let us move on to our fourth team of the day, which is Bobby Tills. And the team members are Debbie Chong Hui Tian, Ng Qiao Fang, Eugene Ng Kai Chin, Lo Yen Ruo, and Wong Leader. Team 4, please be prepared to impress your judges starting now.
Good morning, judges and my fellow bee hackers. My name is Debbie and I'm the project manager of the Farming Godparents. Before I start my pitch, let us recall the time when Gardenia announced their increase in price of their bun from 80 cents to 1 ringgit, and also McDonald's increasing their Sundae cone, which is their ice cream, from 1 ringgit to 1 ringgit and 50 cents. Were you upset, enraged, confused, or even worried upon receiving the news? Well, according to News Straits Time, with Malaysia's food inflation increasing to 2.2% in February 2022, the government has been taking measures to control the fluctuations of food prices due to the high demand and less supply of agricultural products, which has significantly affected the financial situation of our producers, which are our farmers, and consumers, which are you and I. As the demand for food is inelastic, a small change in supply can lead to big changes in prices. This is the reason why we need to combat this issue. The truth about food security, which takes us to our pain points, is firstly, farmers are facing income shortfalls. Secondly, there are insufficient labor workers in the harvest fields. And thirdly, there is a lack of fast, cheap, and accessible agricultural transportation services. Despite the problems faced, we believe in solutions and informations like, firstly, up-to-date fundings and subsidies given by the government and NGOs that farmers often have no knowledge about. Secondly, an auto-generated feature to help farmers to leverage the technology of their agribusiness. Thirdly, an online agriculture platform for a live online selling and investment. And fourthly, last and fast and comparable agricultural transportation options, including deliveries like Lalamove and Pigeons. Are all these solutions and information are able to tackle food insecurity. With that, we, the Farming Godparents, proudly present to you our website solution, the Farming Tills. There are 3 main portals on our website: the farmers, the buyers, and the volunteers. Firstly, in our farmers portal, farmers will have to key in details of their farm, crops cultivated, agronomic practices adopted, growth data and crops, and laborers needed. With all these details provided, our machine learning algorithm will give suggestions on leveraging their business, such as marketing plans and automated NB-IoT technologies available in the market that would help reduce the need for laborers. In our fundings tab, details on the funding and subsidies that are provided by our government and NGOs such as AgroBank can be easily accessed to help farmers afford machines and also protect their welfare. Delivery options will also be available to our farmers to choose from based on their budget, type of delivery, and its delivery cost. Secondly, in our online sales and investment portals, farmers can sell their products on this platform, going on live streams to give their customers a live view of their products, and even maybe getting influencers to help them promote their processed agricultural crops like kimchi instead of just raw chilies or cabbage, creating options and alternatives to generate more income. This platform will also serve as a medium for agricultural investment companies to search for farmers in need of financial resources to automate their farm. Farmers in turn will have to provide farm fact sheets, share lots, and their automation plan to the investors upon contact. Thirdly, in our volunteers portal. With the farm data that has been keyed in by our farmers, we could help volunteers and nature lovers locate the nearest farm to them to visit and experience the agriculture life. These are all the details, and voluntary certificates will also be given to boost this activity among our society. Schools, on the other hand, can also use the data provided to arrange field trips for their students to educate and spread awareness of the potential of Internet of Things technologies in modernizing the traditional ways of farming, changing their perspective towards agriculture. As a whole, our target audience are the farmers, the buyers, the investors, and volunteers. As for our pricing strategy, there will be a premium plan for all use, a freemium plan for all users, and a premium plan with an annual subscription of $29.99 for the advanced features in our farmers portal. Revenues on our website will also be generated through the display of paid advertisements. In addition, our website will also be based on a business to consumer concept, with farmers directly selling their products to buyers. Moving on to our market size, we hope to roll out our outreach program to our target audience in Pahang before expanding to the countries in ASEAN, generating at least 1.1 million in revenue. With all the existing competitors in the market, we believe with our website stands out with us being a resourceful website to the public and, most importantly, to our farmers. Having said that, we are looking for a total investment of 180,000 for our website deployment, funding our capex, product development, marketing skills, and personnel to assist us in the movement of aiding our farmers with the right information. Our vision remains in leveraging our farmers' income and the agricultural technology growth, encouraging young people to venture into the agricultural field with their Internet of Things skill set, and realizing smart agriculture with the emergence of the Agro Revolution 4.0 in Malaysia. Farmy Tales is brought to you by the Farmy Godparents, a group of first-year students and also innovators, creators, revolutionists coming together with the passion to help our local farmers and food consumers. So, are we going to wait till the food inflation and prices skyrocket to take action? Let's not wait till it's too late. That is all from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Farmy Tales, for your presentation. And the 3 minutes for Q&A will start now. So, Judge 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐬𝐢, you can go ahead.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for presenting your ideas and making it to the top 15. My question is basically, I mean, I can see that you're trying to do quite a lot from your presentation. I see that it's a mix of a listing website. It's also filled with information where different parties are able to find out more about these farmers. And if I may ask, I know that you are focusing on the farmers, the buyers, and the volunteers. But if you were to choose one, right, what would be, the main pain point that you are addressing here? Now, what I'm trying to kind of really understand is what's your actual value of the problem statement that you have presented? Because to me, it's still slightly vague. So if you can clarify on that front. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the question. If we go back to our pain points, all three are actually directly affecting our farmers. So our mainly focus is our farmers, and the volunteers and the buyers are actually there to help our farmers achieve their goals. So our farmers, like giving them the right information of the technologies that are needed to leverage their business will be one, that it will help to tackle the insufficient labor workers in the harvest field. And if for the income shortfalls, it's actually helping them to gain the information on the fundings and also the subsidies given by our government that they often do not know about. So we are giving them information, we are providing them the information that they need to sustain their business. So our main point is our farmers. The volunteers and the buyers are there just to assist them in achieving their goal.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Judge Ling, you may go ahead.
Okay, thanks. My question will be more around like the market segment, because I heard that farmers is one of the market segment that you are targeting, right? So my question is, I mean, if you are targeting traditional farmers, they might not actually be able to read and write. But I mean, I know you got a page there to write the description, and then they are the one that's probably will be eligible for the funding provided by the government. And they might not be able to read as well, because like, I mean, if you can offer them to easily apply for funding, but if they cannot they can't really read what is it about, they will most likely will not be able to click on that button, right? So my question is like, then what kind of help can you offer to them? But if, I mean, your target audience is not them, it's more like those modern farmers that can read and write, probably they will not really need the solutions, because probably they already have a solution in place. And what is your solution that is stand out from what they have existing?
Yes, okay. I really understand the importance of that. Yes, our rural farmers. I think one of the features that let me just answer this. One of the features that we can add in is actually our virtual assistant, that we, through not just audio, but not just the audio feature, that will help farmers who are illiterate so that they can hear. And one of the implementation plans that we hope to have is to reach out to them. That's why we are starting with Pahang first instead of going all out. So Pahang first, and also approaching the rural farmers staying in the rural areas, and maybe bringing along farmers who are actually using technology and convincing them, encouraging them, because they are farmers, they can relate to each other, they relate to each other's struggle. So that will be one of our strategies in helping our farmers who are less tech savvy.
Okay, thanks Debbie for answering the question.
All right, thank you judges for the questions and Pamitio for their awesome presentation. This is indeed a great project to combat the price fluctuation of our food supply. I really like how there is also a volunteers portal for the public to experience the agriculture sector.
Yeah, that is an interesting addition. But I think my favorite part will be the part where they use machine learning to auto-suggest ways for them to leverage their business with marketing plans and new technologies. That's really cool. Alright, so now we are moving on to our next team, which is Relivio. And the team members are 𝐸𝐵𝐚𝐫 Pranadita, Ilham Bhatia, Ibrahim Sambata, 𝐸𝐚𝐤𝐤𝐚𝐽 Eza, and Rizky Pramudita. Team 5, please get ready, and you may begin your 7-minute speech now.
Hi, I'm Prana from Relivio. So, young generation is the seed to the fruitful future. They are tomorrow's innovators, creators, builders, and leaders. They have the power to change the nation. But in order to unleash their full potential, they also need the support, for instance, good health. But unfortunately, the number of suicide cases among youngsters in Malaysia is increasing these days. Relate Malaysia stated that one of the reasons is because the lack of awareness about suicide and its risk factors, such as social, psychological, and biological factors. A study also states that younger individuals were at the highest risk of suicidal behavior. It's even reported that suicide is the leading cause of death among youngsters, and there are 872 suicide cases reported. Suicide is an urgent case that should be prevented because it can severely impact the economical aspect, with the main cost of single youth suicide was estimated to be 676,000 ringgit Malaysia. But aside from the economic impact, we are talking about the generation that is a hope to bring better changes for the future. We have to take action to help this case so that the youth can continue their full potential and bring the better future. And regarding the suicide prevention, the CDC suggested the approach to suicide prevention with a 3-step. The first is planning to address the problem as well informational needs. The second is implementation that will be carried out after only key issues are identified. And finally, evaluation is to identify effective outcomes. And from that approach, we propose a solution to know, reflect, and connect to themselves with Relivio. We focus on SDGs number 3, which is good health and well-being, by supporting their mental health from the psychological factors to prevent suicide. So the main features are journaling and more tracking, coping mechanisms, and professional service. From these features, we try to assist the users to be better by making positive habits of being aware of themselves. So the first is know themselves by journaling and tracking their mood. Journaling has become a popular way to be self-aware, speak to themselves, recognize emotion and feelings, and release the burden in their hearts as well, so that it won't be exploded and cause disaster to themselves. This is also supported by various studies, and from the features, users will get the convenience of journaling, such as provided various template and easy tracking from the history. And then reflect themselves. Relivio also has the ability to analyze the users from the mood and the language that the users has written. So that Relivio will give coping mechanisms recommendation provided to identify themselves deeper and face the hardship they have to pass and gain positive energy as well. And finally, try to connect to themselves and know to themselves deeper, whether by continuing the habit of journaling or seeking help when they need. And with the ability of Relivio analysis, it will detect if the users tend to dominated by low mood, severe sadness, or even not desire to live. Relivio will also guide users to choose emergency help, like calling emergency hotline or ask for professional help. But besides supporting them to care for their mental health, Relivio will also help them to stay on track, to achieve their goals by facing the reality and finish what they started by showing their to-do list from their priorities. So Relivio focuses on teenagers of age 18 until 29 years old who could be students, employees, or professionals in an urban area. But besides focusing on youngsters with mental issue as a target, nowadays self-improving become a trend, and our features is in line with the trend. So with a big potential market, Relivio will give impact to lots of people as well. And we also plan to promote our solution by triggering viral marketing so that it will help to reach big audiences. And moving on to the business model, we focus on a business-to-consumer model with the schemes of freemium and pay-per-sale. But with this business model, we're not trying to rob or force people with the mental issues to pay high to enjoy our basic main features. But if they want to explore variation or more innovation from our features, the business model will come to them. And there are actually many products that have similarities with few of our several features, but the competitor only gives a solution of basic digitalized of journaling and only a chart analysis. So Relivio still be excellent by not only making journaling habit with strong analytics to give recommendations and help users with the mental state, but also giving users various types of journaling and will helping them with coping mechanisms as well. As Relivio will always be keen to help users with their mental health to prevent suicide, we will develop the solution further with analytical enhancement like giving the chart diagram analysis, and we will develop also coping mechanisms improvement, psychiatry service in the future, and social media or third-party app integration. We, students who pursue a Bachelor of Computer Science and have the knowledge of technology and digitalization, and we also relate to the hardship and fear of uncertainty. So we would like to be there to help those who are struggling with themselves, especially on the mental issue. And Relivio will be there for them to be a safe place to share the day. So that's all from us, and let's dig further. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team 5, for presenting Relivio. To the judges, you may now begin with your questions, and the 3 minutes countdown starts now. So Judge 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐬𝐢, you may begin.
Thanks. Thanks for sharing. I only have one question, and my question is that what would be your go-to-market strategy going to be like? I mean, I know you have a few competitors and you have some differentiation, right? But you know, I mean, if your feature is going to gain popularity for your competitors, I would see that, you know, they can follow suit as well. So to me, I think your go-to-market strategy would be very extremely important. For example, like, you know, potential partnerships. How do you plan to kind of roll it out to gain the market share that you're looking for? So I would like to hear a bit more on that front.
Okay, thank you for the question, sir. So what we have to do first to be win the market competition, we will give the best user interface with with the best experience for them, because it can because the uniqueness cannot be copied from the user experience, we believe. And we plan to or make a partner with the influencers in Malaysia to use our apps. So and give a testimony from using our apps. And we want to build a brand or trust from our solution. So we believe that from the name of and the trust from the market with our solution, it will still be our value and potential to always stay in the market. We believe that, sir. Thank you for the question. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So George St. Loon, you may begin with your question.
Yeah. Good morning to Malang. I just want to know the coping and analytics you mentioned about them. How do you want to implement that? Because you say you will do it. I think that key thing is seeing how you can achieve it.
Okay, thank you, sir. About the coping mechanisms, we already provided with various coping mechanisms like meditation, and meditation also have lots of variations, and we will also challenge them to have a workout to have a better physical health. And about the implementation, as the initial development, we also plan to implement our features with several technologies like Android, PostgreSQL, TensorFlow, Kotlin, and Amazon Web Service, and Ktor. And because of we want to give a visualization, so we also intended to use the library from the Kotlin as the initial development.
I'm not asking about the technical. I'm saying who can tell you how you will give the right advice, right? Because you cannot give wrong advice, especially in these kind of cases.
Okay,
in our
sorry,
team,
sir.
I don't see any psychology people. Well, what if your coping was a wrong suggestion? That would be quite bad, right?
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, Relivio has the ability to analyze the language of what the users has written. So if from the language, there are the words that tend to, like they not deserve, they feel like they not deserve to live or so on. So we will give them the option to use coping mechanisms, or maybe if they feel they are in urgent condition, they will choose the emergency hotline or the or will we connect them with provided professionals such as psychologists. So we here is only to predict predict the state of the users, like when like I said before, if they tend to have a low mood on psychological mental issue, we will recommend them to use our coping mechanisms or connect them to the professional. I think that's the answer, sir.
All right, thank you very much to Team 5 for your presentation. That was really great. And I think it is a wonderful project to, provide a safe place to those who need it. And it is amazing that you managed to put a positive twist on just regular journaling, because this project can even provide coping mechanisms to those who need it through the journal analysis. And that is an interesting concept.
Yeah, it's like having a friend to give you advice after you pour out your heart and soul into it. And what's great is the whole feel of the project is so calming and positive. I think I'll personally use this app for journaling. So hopefully the team can deploy and develop a view version in the future.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so before moving on to the sixth team, let us have a short break. We will continue at 10:15 a.m. So stay tuned.
All right, it's now 10:15 a.m. Participants, please get ready. Meanwhile, to our audience from YouTube, feel free to hit the like button and react through the chat box below to show your love and support to your favorite team. Be sure to share this YouTube live stream and get all your family and friends to watch the exciting presentations of our top 15 teams. Now, we are moving on to the sixth team, which is 𝐷𝐸 project. And the team members are Chiang Yong-Jie, Anas Ahmadi, and Lo Li Zin. Team 6, please be prepared and you may begin now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We, from Team 𝐷𝐸, have chosen case study 5 as our topic. As we know, food security in Malaysia has become a problem that is decreasing significantly following the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Let us tell you about Mr. Roger. Mr. Roger has been a chili farmer since 2018 and has been a successful entrepreneur until MCO started. His workers were then unable to attend work. It soon started a chain reaction of turmoils. Without the necessary manpower, a lot of his crops were left unharvested. During his days of good health, the amount of chili he sold was decent. But more often than not, Mr. Roger was making a bare minimum. In order to compensate his losses, Mr. Roger had no choice but to increase his prices. It turned into tragedy when he realized he was making way less income than he thought he was. Similar with Mr. Roger, plenty of other farmers in Malaysia are also facing similar problems. This is 𝐸𝐤𝐽𝐿. 𝐸𝐤𝐽𝐿 has only been buying vegetables from Tesco. He has been wishing to buy veggies from the farmer's market, but he lives far from one. If only there is an online marketplace with direct supplies from farmers that he can browse from. We present to you our solution, 𝐷𝐸. Our app acts as an all-in-one platform for farmers and consumers alike to engage in all sorts of interaction. In order to curb the decrease in food security arising in Malaysia, our app would allow food access to its users. Our marketplace feature eases both farmers and consumers in dealing without having to physically meet. Not only that, 𝐷𝐸 grants farmers another platform for them to advertise their crops to increase their income stream. Furthermore, 𝐷𝐸 provides training and support not only for the big farmers, but as well for independent beginners who are only starting out. Need to know the dimensions for your border crop? We have guides for that. Need to find out the right ratio for your fertilizers? We have got you covered. Can't find what you're looking for on our app? We can redirect you to our many consultants from leading agencies that can help you. It is undeniable that exposure for seed capital in the agriculture sector is not gaining enough traction. 𝐷𝐸 offers updated info on the latest financial help that farmers can apply to. To put the cherry on top, 𝐷𝐸 allows users to advertise jobs on their farms as well as the farmers market. This will eliminate the shortage of workforce, be it in harvesting crop and as a means to find drivers that would cater the need for transporting crop goods. Our app would surely meet 3 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which are no poverty, zero hunger, and decent work and economic growth. Moving on to the Figma demonstration, this is our start page where you will be greeted upon launching. Our marketplace serves as the homepage where users can buy and sell their products online. Detailed description can be found before adding it to cart. Next, we have the training and support page, where short guides on various farming techniques can be learned. 𝐸 app also features a schemes page where farmers can learn more on monetary aids offered by banks and the government. Eligibility and requirements of the schemes were added as a quick info before they can decide to talk to the bank. A recruitment page is just as crucial as a marketplace where job seekers can find a gig for them. We included a filter system as well as an AI chatbot to better match individuals with their preferences, expertise, and skills. Finally, we have the profile page where users can edit the profile, take a look at the purchases, manage their business on 𝐸, and much more. Let's take a look into our market segmentation. There will be two kinds of users that we are targeting to use our application. The prime users we look forward to having on board are farmers. The ability of our app to increase their income by providing an online marketplace to sell their crops has got to be one of the leading factors why farmers would try out e-commerce. The convenience of looking into a very large variety of crops at the point of your fingertips will attract many consumers. The ability to schedule a delivery to your doorstep eases up many problems and saves plenty of time. Allowing farmers to advertise jobs improves efficiency of them managing farms and also creates many more job opportunities where users can find new gigs on farms and markets. There is an estimated total of 570 million farms worldwide. At a smaller scale in Malaysia, there are only 450,000 farmers. 𝐸 targets to benefit 45,000 farmers here in Malaysia. Trying to be down to earth as possible, we will initially charge 5% on each transaction. We will also be advertising post boosts for vendors and sellers who wish to have their products on top of the page, targeting 45,000 users with an average fee of RM1 per transaction. It is expected for 𝐸 to gain 1.2 million ringgit in revenue for the first year. This is how we will make 𝐸 known to the public. First, we intend to catch our customers through social media, public service announcements, and digital billboards. Next, we will connect them through the national 𝐸 campaign, and the consumers download our app from Google Play Store and Apple App Store. Lastly, if users continue using this app, they will get business incentives that are provided. 𝐸 market can track the spendings and involvements, which can stabilize the market price. We are looking forward to partnering up with some big names in the agriculture industry. The government plays a major role in developing our app. They may apply our app to boost more effort in attracting more farmers and connecting more users. Institutions and government-linked agencies such as MARDI and PAMA have the ability to standardize the connectivity between them and farmers. Further research and innovation can be done, which will be shared through our app. We look forward to working with Bank in an effort to persuade more people to start farming. Consultation with the bank on financing and loans are one of many things farmers can expect. We have researched the competition and it shows that Malaysia lacks heavily on technological implementation towards the agriculture industry. AgroBazaar does offer an online marketplace, but it seems like the developers are not maintaining it. The apps available to be downloaded right now offer minimal or no support for farmers in regards to farm knowledge. Government schemes and aids are not spread through these apps as well. Job opportunities are also not advertised there. 𝐸, however, ticks all the boxes necessary in maintaining a sustainable platform. We have planned our implementation into 3 phases. The first phase is to investigate and brainstorm ideas to reduce agriculture costs, establish an open market, and increase the number of agro workers. By collaborating with the Malaysian government and the industry, new legislations may be formed in regards to implementing 𝐸 management. Phase 2 is heavily focused on creating the 𝐸 app, partnerships with professionals in the industry, as well as tech professionals like software engineers and data scientists. The vision of 𝐸 is guaranteed to be realized. Finally, moving on to the final phase, we look forward to sustaining the app by reviewing current and future frameworks and policies. This step is crucial in order for the app to stay relevant. That is all from us, Team V130. Remember 𝐸, the all-in-one app for farmers and consumers. Thank you.
Thank you. So the 3 minutes Q&A will start now. So Judge Wilson, may go ahead.
Hi, I think you've got a really good pitch, but just maybe some concerns on how you implement your ideas. First one is, I guess, one of the ways you're trying to target the labor shortage, right? Then, I mean, you're trying to advertise jobs on your app. But I guess a lot of these laborers in these kind of farms are, illiterates, or maybe a lot of them will be actually even illegals, right? So, I mean, is there sort of a mismatch between what you're offering and the problem? Because if they are like these illiterates or illegals, would they even actually use your job listings, or would they even come to your job listings in the first place?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rusen, for the question. So, to answer your question, right, we do not take into consideration party because we don't see a particular need for them to use it. But what we do thought of are people who, let's say, who lives in rural areas, right? They would want to find odd jobs just to make a few ringgit here and there. That is the main target group that we're trying to search for. The people who wants to get odd jobs like that just to pick chilies and all that.
Okay. And I guess another question would be similar to previous group, because I guess your target farmers would be a lot of illiterates. And how, I guess, there's always also a gap there between them knowing how to use your tool and what are your plans to onboard this kind of demographics?
I invite 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 to tell the statistics on that.
Right, thanks, Anas. So actually, according to our research from Khazanah Research Institute, right, about 40% of the agricultural enterprise are micro enterprise, and their revenues are less than 100K and less than 5 employees. So this is why we are targeting the SME or also the micro enterprise, as they do not have the resources in terms of business management, in terms of farm management. And this is also the main target group of the farm is the SME.
Yeah, yes, you have your target market there, but the problem is these people may not be so tech savvy, right? They may not even know how to use your platform.
All right, so if I go back to my Figma here, so actually we are designing on the AI chatbots whereby we wish to have a implementation of the multi-translation inside our AI chatbots, whereby this can help them to, if they don't understand English, whereby if they understand Chinese, then the multi-translation of the language would help them. And through the AI chatbot, I think this is a way to help them get through, access the help. And besides that, the farmer is also have an option to talk to our customer services through phone call also.
Okay.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
provided in our apps.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Team 6, for their awesome presentation on Agro Project. This seems like a really useful all-in-one platform for the farmers and the customers as well. I like that it also displays schemes and opportunities offered by governments or companies, and I believe that they can really benefit from it.
Yeah, and it even shows like different job opportunities by the agricultural companies. So in a way, it's kind of like a mini job street, but just for the agricultural industry. And I think that's pretty cool. All right, so now we are moving on to our 7th team, which is Give Back. And the team members are Hamzah Wahid Bashboch, Amit Hassan Sadin, Muhammad Akram Tello Al-Shwati, Abdul Majid Hamid Abdul Muhammad, and Ahmed Yusuf Osman Yusuf. Team 7, please be prepared to present your project Give Back, and you may start now.
Hello everyone, I'm Amit Hassan Shadin on behalf of the group B143. Thank you for allowing us to be in top 15 for Varsity Hackathon 2022. For this pitchings, I will try to give an imagination to explore our concept. We have chosen the white flag moment as our case study. As we all know, when the COVID-19 pandemic started, we went through lots of unnatural problems around us as our daily necessities like food and clothing problems. But due to the social status, shyness, and cultural values, many families and individuals are ashamed to ask for help. So now the question is, why did we choose this topic? Once Mother Teresa says, if you cannot feed 100 people, just feed one. So as we live in a society, so coexisting is the fundamental law of nature. Here we need to think about each other problems and need to talk a step to solve the problem. So that's the reason. So we want to be a part of the solutions. We care about helping people and we want to make an impact around us. And as a future engineer, we want to use our knowledge for humanity. So for solving the problems, we have decided to develop a mobile application named 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐚𝐬𝐿 to connect people from different aspects of life. We want to create a system where people in need can find help without concerning the fact of their identity to be revealed. Our main goal is to create a bridge between the peoples who are willing to help and the peoples who need help. So here is our prototype. The application is for 3 different type of user: people in need, volunteer, and supplement provider. This is the page from a supplier perspective. If anyone wants to donate resources matches with these categories, he or she can select from here and write a name and description about that product and post it. After that, the system will automatically notify all the people in need of that nearby, and they can view the product location in the map of a radius around 5 km. And they can accept the product by a self pickup or by the volunteers. If they choose volunteer, the system will automatically notify the nearby volunteers with all necessary informations listed. Now it's all about business. Now, about the business model for our application, we consider our system business flow and user-to-user relationship and the cost and revenues for the applications. We divide it into 9 segments with potential necessities of each segment. For the activity segment, we evaluate the development process as well as the supplement provider willingness. Then we evaluate the partners like volunteers, organizations, charities, and local communities. And for resources and values, newness, performance, customization, design, branding, and price, cost reduction, risk reduction, accessibility, and convenience. On the other hand, we care about the relationship. We decided to have different channels as we have different type of user like volunteers, needy people, supplement provider, charities, and local communities. Furthermore, the cost for our application is in development, marketing, and maintenance. In revenue stream, as the application is for a charitable cause, so we will be focusing on community donation, advertisement, and sponsorship on our applications. Now about the market segmentations. We have decided to analyze the market according to 4 different categories. First, demography. So we have decided to take male and female above 16 years old with a family income 2,000 Malaysian ringgit or less. According to their family structure, as the Malaysian government decided to a person minimum wages is 1,200 Malaysian ringgit per month. About the geography, we chose Sarawak as our target area for the time being, as the infrastructure of this area is suitable for the and the poverty ratio is quite high compared to the other area. So for the behavioral aspect, as the system will have anonymous ID for the people who seek help, and we have found 86% men and women are comfortable of taking help anonymously. For those people, our application will be the perfect product they want. And in psychographic, we have targeted the people based on their shyness, lifestyle, and profession, and also their social status. Now about the competitor. In every business, competition is must. So here we have found 2 different organizations whose vision is some sort of similar with us, but not exactly similar with us. The Sambal SOS and Kita Jaga. But our application is more diverse in terms of giving the services to the people in need. For example, collaboration with institution, availability of using different languages will increase our application acceptability compared to them. On the other hand, new features like anonymity of the user and freedom of choosing desired product increase our application diversity compared to the competitors. So this is our team of 5 who take different rules to come up with this idea. As now we are in the competitions, but we think this could be a great initiative if we continue with it for the peoples who are in need in different parts of Malaysia. We will try to manage sponsorship for the dream to be in reality. And also we are expecting that in next 1 year we'll be reaching 1,000 families and reaching 5,000 volunteers by the next 3 years, building profile resume for the volunteers to promote themselves when they're looking for job that will bring them, that will make them interest to work here. and also expanding the scope of the project to collaborate with charities to provide us with details of those who are in their list, covering more states in Malaysia. And also we are thinking deeply about the charity. We will be going collaborations with the charities because they already work in this field, but we are not being their competitor because we are not working with the financial things. We are working with the family daily necessities. So we have a plan to collaborate with them to gather the peoples who are in need, and they feel comfortable to take help from us. This is all about our business plan for these applications. Hope you will like it.
All right, thank you very much, Team 7, for presenting your project Give Back. To the judges, you may now begin with your questions, and the 3 minutes countdown starts now. So Judge 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐬𝐢𝐭𝐲, you may go ahead.
Hi, thanks Amit for the presentation. I got one clarification because I saw one of your slides saying you're going to pilot this with Sarawak State, right?
Yes, sir.
When you refer to Sarawak, I mean we are talking about the beneficial is limited to Sarawak, but the donors can be from everywhere around the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right, sir.
Okay, got it. And my second question is pertaining to how do you verify the authenticity of the beneficial, the people that need help? Right, because it can be someone submitting on behalf of someone that trying to game your whole applications and trying to get the goods and then sell it somewhere. Do you ever think of this question? Do you have an answer for this?
Yes, of course. Well, to ensure delivering the needs for the people, we have to risk something. We can do like charities and risk the usability, the easiness of registering our system, so that we should require them to submit their IDs and submit all their papers, and that's not practical for them. Instead, we chose to risk we chose to give them the ability to easily register, and that will risk give other people the opportunity to register while they are not permissible to do so. I hope that answers your question.
Right, thanks.
All right,
Sorry?
thank you. Judge 𝐤𝐤, you may begin. Yep.
Hi. Thank you for the presentation. So I got two questions. So one question is, how do you meet the how do you balance the supply and demand? So example is where there is a bunch of people wanted to donate, and then the beneficial person would not want to go to collect those donations. So you mentioned there's volunteer in between, right? What happens if there's zero volunteer, and the guy couldn't move to collect? So how do you solve this?
So, sir, as we mentioned that we will be the volunteer will help, but in case of these situations in futures, as I mentioned that we are trying to collaborate with different organizations who are already in the field. For example, there are some organization called Awan Palestine, and also lots of other charitable organization who basically work of these kinds of work. So we'll be having collaborations with them later on. So they could help us in terms of that, and also in futures we do have a plan that if the company if the app revenue is good, then we'll be having our own volunteers whom we can pay to do these kinds of job in case there is no volunteer.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Then it leads to my second question. How do you achieve anonymity?
So, sir, this is basically if anybody register, it's automatically generate ID for them, which will be visible by the others, but their name wouldn't be.
So actually, my question is, let's say the volunteer is my neighbor, and I'm actually want to be anonymous. When the volunteer or my neighbor deliver the food, and then right in front of me, then he would know that I actually requested for a donation. Wouldn't that compromise the identity?
Yeah, that's would compromise, but we'll be having an option that the person who need help, they can select their place. For let's say, I'm afraid of my identity to be revealed, I can choose my nearby address, and I can mention there, so the volunteer can drop there, and I can collect it. So yeah, this some sort of it feel like that it will be a compromise on some point, but our main willingness is to not to compromise, and maybe in the futures we will go through the deep into the privacy here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, judges, for your questions. And thank you again to Team 7 for presenting your project, Give Back. And I really like that this name, it really reflects the purpose of this project, because people are able to give back to the society by donating through this app. And it also really promotes the spirit of volunteerism.
Exactly. It is indeed a beneficial application to connect those who want to help and those who need help. So anyone can volunteer as long as they want to help, and anyone can receive the help safely as well. All right. So to the next team, let us welcome Rice, and the team members are Tan Xiaoxuan, 𝐿𝐤𝐧𝐚, 𝐤𝐫𝐚𝐬𝐿, Gan Li-Jun, and Chu Jiawen. So Team A, please get ready to present your pitch, and your 7 minutes starts now.
A very good morning to our judges and everyone online with us. We are Team Rise. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among youth aged 15 to 24. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, suicide cases has almost doubled in 2021 compared to 2019. Besides, most youths do not feel comfortable ringing up suicide hotlines, as talking to a stranger on the phone can be absolutely terrifying. With that, our team has developed a mobile app, Rise, which is a more approachable solution to youth attempting suicide. If you are launching Rise for the first time, there will be a few screens introducing the features of the app. You will then be provided with multiple sign-up options, and if you are registered, you can direct to the login page here. You will be asked to choose an emoji that can represent your mood, and under the calendar section, you can write your diary and even add photos for the day. Next, there are 3 options for the Talk to Someone function. The first would be to chat with our Rise chatbot. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your problems with real people, you can pour your heart out to our chatbot. When our chatbot notices that the user's mental state is fairly unhealthy, it will suggest continuing the conversation with one of our Rise volunteer psychologists. If the user is okay with that, a psychologist will be assigned to chat with them. You can also access that directly from this page. And for people who are in desperate need of help, they can direct to our emergency hotline immediately. Our community forum is an anonymous platform to express thoughts and experiences, as well as comment on posts. The objective of this is to preserve privacy and prevent cyberbullying. All posts and comments are moderated before they are published, so if suicidal content is detected, it will not be published, and we will approach the particular user via the chatbot function. This is to assist them on their issue or give them professional help. If the user indicates a strong suicidal tendency, our team will be prepared to take all necessary actions to keep them safe. Moving on, Rise is able to cheer you up with entertaining video clips as well as meditation music. The video in these stories can be either highly entertaining or inspiring. There is also a comment section below to allow interaction in the Rise community. You can also listen to relaxing music to heal your mind and soul. Our targeted users will be the youth community, aged 15 to 25, which is mainly secondary school and university students. And Malaysia has around 3 million youths, so we aim to achieve at least 200,000 users in 3 years. To promote our app to the youth community, we will focus on secondary schools and universities. For universities, we will collaborate with the Support and Wellbeing Service. For secondary schools, it will be the Counseling Department. And of course, we will also be collaborating with the Ministry of Education Malaysia. Meanwhile, we will apply to become a Malaysian charitable foundation under the Ministry of Domestic Trade, Cooperatives and Consumerism. Our value in the market is that we provide a 100% friendly environment for users to share their feelings. Rise acts as a daily mood tracker, a diary, a virtual friend, and a platform to get professional help and entertaining videos and music. To achieve our aim, we need to improve our features and UI UX continuously. We will constantly analyze users' problems to ensure that we provide suitable consultation to them. For running the app, we need a developer team, databases, and volunteer psychologists. Users' feedback is also really important for our improvement. Our one-off costs include application infrastructure and application installation cost. Our monthly expenses will consist of marketing, application maintenance, admin, licensing, and copyright costs. To cover our expenses, we will allow advertisements from selected partners or customers, for example, universities. Donations from public or private will also be accepted as our revenue. Next, we have a short analysis of our competitors. We have TF Chat, which has most of our features, but it does not include a community forum. And users have to pay at least 200 ringgit monthly to access their services. Next, we have Visa and Wobot. They are chatbot apps which provide suggestions and consultation to your users, but they are not local apps, so some of their features like emergency help numbers are not catered to Malaysians. Lastly, 𝐸𝐚𝐬 is a mood tracker and you can write your diary in it, but it doesn't provide consultation and community forums. We will start to promote our app in University of Nottingham, Malaysia, and aim to achieve 1,000 users within 3 months. Within 8 months, we hope to reach 20,000 users from universities in the Selangor area. We will collaborate with all the support and well-being services of universities and encourage the counselors to join our volunteer program. Within 1 year, we plan to achieve 30,000 active users. At this time, we will start to collaborate with the counseling department of secondary schools to promote our app to secondary school students. Again, we will be collecting feedback to accommodate both secondary school and university students. Within 3 years, we hope to achieve at least 200,000 users from the youth community. And that is all from Team Rise. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Team Rice. So the 3 minutes Q&A will start now. So Judge Wilson, please go ahead.
Okay, thanks. I have one question, I guess, on your methodology. How have you validated your methodology that, you know, your chat feature, your mood tracking, your diaries, all these things actually help in preventing suicidal thoughts? I mean, because I imagine stress management and suicidal control are two different things. Although they may seem very similar, but you know, I mean, medically, have you validated that these things actually help prevent suicides?
So I will take this question. So normally, like, why youth will suicide? Because they have things that they have no friends. There's no someone in this world caring about them. And then before they decide to suicide, there's a period for them to ask for help. Like maybe if someone talk to them and then let them complain their problems, and then they'll get better. So this is what we want to do, because there's a lot of apps is doing the different things, like provide medication, like listen to the music, like relaxing, but we think we need to do something different. So we want to be a friend, like make them feel like there's someone actually is caring about you. And then if their problems is very serious, then we have the psychologist. So we will ask them to go for the consultation, and then the psychologist will help them in a better professional way. Because like actually we are not from the psychology department, and then we don't have any professional knowledge in this. So we want to give any professional idea. Yeah. So we only like provide a platform.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Judge Lim, you may go ahead with your questions.
Thanks, Xiaoshen, for the sharing of this presentation. I just have one question. I will be a bit worried in terms of like the sustainability of these applications, because I see you got a lot of cost factors comparing to your revenue streams. right? I think you only have donations and advertisement. Donation is not guaranteed. Advertisement, I'm not sure what kind of companies are you targeting for them to do advertisement on your applications, right? I mean, you can have very good applications, you can have very good products, but if you cannot sustain it, I mean, it's equal to zero. Will you be able to substantiate that?
So yeah, I will take this question too.
Thanks.
So the donation, yeah, I think there's big problem for us to start up because like at the first we need to like do this app and the infrastructure constructing fee will be a bit high. So we will take part of the job because we are actually from the engineering background. Then we can take part of the job, and then the things we can do will go for the outsource. And then so at first we'll look for the donation first, and then actually we are doing step by step. So the AI system is not released at the first. So we was like doing part, and then our try to find the money and then do part of the task first, and then so the advertisement actually is from, we think like, because our targeted user is from 15 to 24, so mainly is the university student and secondary school students. So I think if our partner like the other university, they want to promote their university, they can through us because we can reach more users like their targeted customer. And then something like the online learning course, and then extra like we think beneficial to the youth, you can come to find us, and then we will help them to promote. So yeah, we will try to get the funding from government too, and then like the fundraising event like the gala nights. Yeah, so
yeah, so I think funding from government is a very good approach, right? So we can explore that, and subsequently you think of some way to generate revenues. I mean, you cannot just every time wait for people to give you funding, and it will not be sustainable. So think about more in terms like how can make use of these apps to actually help you get some revenues to actually ensure the sustainability. Okay, thanks so much.
okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, judges, for the questions and the advice as well. And thank you to Team 8 for their great presentation. So I really like this application. The sunflower logo is so cute. I'm sure that by just looking at the logo, it can really brighten someone's day.
Yeah, it's really cute, and the colors in the app are also really bright and cheery. I like that it has the community discussion function to provide a safe place for anyone to rant about their problems. You know, as humans, we always need a safe space for us to rant, and this app seems like a great platform for that. All right, so now we are moving on to our ninth team, which is 𝐕𝐵𝐺, and the team members are Ong Shu-ying, Chong Jia-ying, Tan Wei-ling, Tan Jia-xuan, and Guo Tian-xuan. Team 9, please be prepared for your presentation, and you may begin now.
Hi, we are Team D181 from University of Malaya. Before pitching our project, I would like to ask everyone a question. Have you ever felt lonely in any phase of your life? Maybe yes, maybe no. But I believe most of us did, because I did, and most of my friends did too, especially at our age when things are changing way too quickly. And this is undeniably one of the reasons why youth suicide is happening. From the graph, we can clearly see a rise in the suicide attempts in these few years. Thus, we wish to work out something in order to help the youth who are under stress and prevent them from having suicidal thoughts. And that's why we are choosing the second case study, which is youth suicide today. We hope that with 𝐕𝐵𝐺, which means to live in Latin, youth who face problems can be cured with love and be cared for with 𝐕𝐵𝐺. So, the main factor that leads to this tragedy, which we will be focused on in this project, will be the loneliness. Just like what I have mentioned in the start of the presentation, young people report feeling lonely more often than the older age groups. And a study of the general population in England found that loneliness is associated with suicidal ideation and attempts. Therefore, we are attempting to tackle this problem by providing the services and support that best work for young people through this mobile application called 𝐕𝐵𝐺. The highlights of our mobile app are the virtual companions, including the main virtual pet and an anonymous chatting mate. At the same time, we have included a relaxing planting game to distract the users from negative thoughts. Now, I'll be demonstrating our prototype. A new user can opt to sign up as a normal user or volunteer. And the volunteers will be the anonymous chatting mate for all the normal users as mentioned before. The volunteer will have to follow all the rules and regulation sets. On the other hand, for normal users of 𝐕𝐵𝐺, they will be asked to set their emergency contact for them to ask for help whenever they are not feeling well. So their real-time location will be sent to the emergency contact immediately. After that, the user can choose and name their favorite kind of virtual pet. If the user opts to see the pet all the time, they will become a home screen pet, somehow like a mobile version of desktop pet. And with the long press on the home screen pad, an emergency message can also be sent to the user's emergency contact. By pressing on the home screen pad, the user can enter the application. In the homepage, the user can opt to talk to their pet either by typing or through voice messages, and the pet will reply to them with some cute random messages. We will also implement speech recognition so that when it detects sensitive words such as deaf, more than average, the emergency contact will be notified too. Besides, there will be a coin collecting system with daily rewards and daily tasks to boost users' happiness. The coins can be used to buy clothes for the pet and also to unlock the seeds in the garden. The garden allows the user to plant and water the flowers. The flower will bloom and will be collected into the handbook after 7 days. We hope we not only can help to distract the user from negative thoughts, but also attract them to use the application every day through this function. In the Relax Me tab, we will provide a few methods for the user to relax themselves when they are facing any panic or anxiety attack. Other than that, we also have a test or chat tab. On this page, users can opt to do some psychological tests, or if they feel like they need to talk to somebody, they can either choose to talk to our volunteer or a professional counselor if they have subscribed to the premium plan of the application. That's roughly how our application works. Next, I'll be showcasing our business model. In this project, we will be using a B2C model, and it's under the service provider category. The revenue models we'll be using include the freemium model as well as the advertising model. The user can opt to choose to use the apps without paying with all the basic features, while the premium plan will provide extra features as shown in the slide. At the same time, we also offer optional in-app purchases and advertisement viewing for users who want to buy or earn extra coins. Hence, through the advertising model, we can collaborate with other organizations to generate extra revenue by playing their advertisements. We also plan to launch a tips and reward system in the chatting page. If our users are satisfied with our volunteers' performances, they can reward them through the Vivere platform. The volunteer with a good rating will then earn a higher level badge. So this will be the price for our premium subscription plan. And here's the financial part. So as you can see from the slide, this is our predicted revenue in the 6 years' time. Next, our main target audience will surely be youth aging from 15 to 25 who might be slightly disoriented or who are currently under stress, especially those living a fast-paced lives in the urban area. However, we are also targeting anyone aged 18 and above who have a positive mindset and are willing to give a hand to the youth with mental health issues as our volunteers. This is our business roadmap, and we aim to expand the user base to achieve global success with Vivere. Next, I'll explain our competitor analysis. We have created a table to show the comparisons between Vivere and other youth suicide prevention applications. We found that most of the applications which have similar features as Vivere usually can either allow users to reduce stress or seek help, while Vivere includes both functions so that users don't have to download multiple applications. Besides, the paid consultant sessions offered in the market are generally more expensive than Vivere. For example, website offers paid consultant sessions at the price of 86.99 ringgit per session, while Vivere has a premium plan that provides affordable mental health services with professionals for youth at only 39.9 ringgit per month. So in future, our team plans to increase user experience by improving our user interface and implementing other new features such as high-quality white noise. We also hope to establish partnership with other organizations for more collaborative advertisements and to expand our application to the population all around the world. We believe that through Vivere, our users' mental health can be improved and therefore the youth suicide cases will be decreased. That's all from our team. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to Team 9 for presenting your project. All right, so to the judges, you may now begin with your questions, and the 3 minutes countdown starts now. So Judge Rooster, you may go ahead.
Okay. I quite like your virtual pet idea because I think it's quite unique. But then I just want to know, I just want to again validate what do you think this actually helps in terms of suicide cases, having this feature there?
Thank you for your question. We firstly implement this virtual pet so that the user can opt to talk to someone when they don't want anyone to actually hear their thoughts, so that they can actually choose to talk with pets. So our pets will reply them with some cute random message such as I want to hug you so bad, something like that. So when they want to talk with an actual person who can share their concerns, then they can choose to talk to our volunteers and also the professionals we've provided. And that's why we think the virtual pet is a way to help them in reducing their stress too.
Okay. Then my second question would be, would you think that this virtual pet feature could backfire and create an unhealthy attachment instead? And especially when you have features like, you can pay for extra clothes, extra accessories, and then this could actually lead, if let's say these demographics of people maybe have an obsession to pay or spend too much money on these things, would it actually backfire on you and instead, put them even in a more difficult situation?
We haven't actually looked into this question, but since we are providing psychological tests and things like that for our users, I think we will definitely be doing a month by month or a week by week analysis on our users' mental health to see if this actually improves their health or worsen the situation. And I believe that by doing such analytics, we can further improve our behavior in the future.
Okay.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you. The judge, Sian Lun, you may go ahead.
Yeah, I only have a question on the monthly subscription. Why do you think the monthly one will work better than a per consultation model? Is it because it's cheaper in the long run, or because that's how people are willing to pay? Because I thought people may pay more, right, if they don't really look for consultation all the time.
Sorry, do you mean that people might pay more if they don't have?
Because if I only look for 2 consultation per year, I don't really have to pay monthly 30 ringgit, right?
So our main target audience will be those who are actually seeking help and those who need these consultations problem, because our target audience are those who actually might be facing some problem and need maybe someone professional to help. And with these models, our premium subscription plan is actually much more cheaper, and that's why we think it can attract a lot more target audience than those already in the market.
Because if you look for people who really need help, you're saying you are taking over the job of the real psychiatrist, right? And that is expensive for a good reason. They have responsibility, they are licensed, but we are not, right? So you can't take over their business in that sense. Yeah.
We are actually targeting those youth because based on our research, we found that a lot of youth didn't seek for help because they want to remain anonymous online when they are trying to ask for help. Yeah, so we are targeting those sections of youth who are afraid of the judgment and stigma.
Just a pointer for you to think, are you replacing them, or are you being the one before channeling to them and then place, I think then position yourself correctly. That would be just nice. Yeah. Because this costing is always tricky, but you must position the business correctly. Right? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to the judges for your questions, and thank you again to Team 9 for your amazing presentation. That was really an interesting pitch. I think my favorite part personally is the garden mini game, where the users can plant flowers in their virtual garden, and it seems like a very soothing and simple game to ease someone's mind. And I believe it'll also be very satisfying to see, when someone has planted a lot of flowers.
Yeah, same as Judge Wilson. I really like the virtual companion. It's like a pet on your phone and you can chat with them, and it will make you feel more relaxed. And it's really cute as well. So personally, I also like the guided imagery function. It would be nice to hear some calming wave sounds, especially when I feel stressed. So good job to the team. And now we are moving on to the next team, which is Flood ID. And the team members are 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐚𝐵𝐸, Abraham Chor Jin Ming, Lau Jia Shao, Regan Hong Ki Ong, Sheikh Faizwan Fikri bin Wan Malik. Team 10, please be prepared to present, and your 7 minutes starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, floods are a scourge that occur every year. In 2021, Malaysia faced record 1 in 100 years rainfall at a new high of 363 millimeters. This is set to increase as global warming causes rising sea levels. Choosing the first case study on floods, we as Team Flood ID are ready to help users prepare for a flood, evacuate in the worst case scenario, and mitigate loss of lives and property. However, before we began, we needed to validate our ideas. In order to do this, we conducted a survey targeted at flood survivors. Our survey of 53 responses showed that 66% of respondents found it difficult to contact rescue services, showing a clear disconnect from rescue services to the public. The respondents felt that their chances of surviving floods increased from 37% of participants reporting 4 out of 5 points for survivability to 49% of survivors reporting 5 out of 5 points for survivability when given information on how to survive a flood. An overwhelming majority declared a need for an SOS system, weather alerts before, during and after floods, and an offline messaging system that allows communication when internet or phone lines are down. And so we landed on a solution, an app packing weather alerts that would notify the users of imminent floods from both official weather reports and user-generated data, informative news from verified sources, and emergency lifeline services that connect government and private rescue services with the user to create a one-stop flood disaster super app. Ladies and gentlemen, on the main screen, there's a concise overview of the local weather forecast and flood status. There's information on the water levels from local flood monitoring stations, as well as official government announcements, nearby rescuers tracked via the Flood ID app, important alerts and news from verified sources. Advertisements and Flood ID merchandise will be shown here. During a flood, tap the SOS button and request for flood rescue or flood donations after floods recede. Here you can set a donation location pin for rescue monitor 8 locations and rescuers nearby, and set the number of people who require help. Once the send button is pressed, users can provide updates so that rescuers can be better prepared, and rescuers too can download the Flood ID app to allow users to find them easily. On the new screen, users can get relevant flood news and life-saving flood survival tips for free. Advertisements will be displayed here. With our proprietary SOS network, Flood ID uses peer-to-peer mesh networking technology to communicate with nearby users without any internet connection or phone service. This technology is similar to how FireChat implements chat messages. On the screen, users can receive flood alerts, rescue alerts, messages from their evacuation center, and even post-flood charity or commercial services. Ladies and gentlemen, this app has got you covered before, during, and after the flood. So, what about our business model? Our app focuses on business to consumer or B2C and business to business or B2B with added potential of business to government or B2G. For the B2B end, we plan to carry out affiliate marketing with verified sellers and service providers to provide a platform for them to connect with customers as shown on the screen. We plan to impose a 3% commission fee for every transaction to maintain our app and continue innovating to provide both vendors and users a better experience. As you can see, this is how our vendors and users and rescuers alike can interact with our users using the Flood ID response portal. In the messages and alerts section, you can find the right service provider or vendor for your needs and ask if services are currently available or call for an appointment. For B2C, on the other hand, we plan to host frequent fundraising events both online and offline to generate a stable revenue stream and to continue to build publicity for driving new customers into the app. During such events, fun challenges will help adults and children alike prepare for a flood. We will also produce merchandise using Flood ID as our brand. This adds value to existing consumers and contributes income, increases publicity, and provides a tangible service. Thirdly, for added revenue, advertisements will be placed in the news/info section, which generates ad revenue using Google AdSense. With an official web app, a projected 15,000 ringgit annually with roughly 50,000 users monthly is achievable from Google AdSense, and 2,000 ringgit from affiliate marketing. Implementation of B2B and B2C will thus allow the app to deliver maximum impact and increase our revenue. Next, we move on to the market segment. Firstly, for geographic factors, we aim to target those in West Malaysia due to the widespread floods, which affected up to 70,000 people last year, according to Xinhua News. Most flood-prone areas, such as Kelantan and KL, are located in the west and experience rainy climates. For our target demographic, we aim to supply our app to flood victims, both male and female, 18 and above, who are mature enough to use their phone for their benefits, and NGOs. Ladies and gentlemen, every app has its competitors and we are no different. Ours are Sambal SOS, My Public Info Banjir, and Kita Jaga. We differ from them by providing better and active customer service to help improve the mood of the users, being the only app offering emergency messaging to warn users of floods, having alert notification to help users prepare without panic, location tracking to track down both victims and aid locations, SOS requests to call for help, weather detection to detect flood-inducing weather, and information sharing for weather conditions and flood survival techniques. So, what's next for Flood ID? During the beta stage, we'll focus on working with other like-minded NGOs to integrate our app into the local humanitarian scene and increase awareness of our app, especially on our core features such as the SOS function. On releasing the full version, we plan to scale up our app by engaging with local city councils and government welfare institutions as part of a wider B2G initiative to further increase adoption rates across a spectrum of users nationally. Eventually, we plan to expand to the wider ASEAN region as floods are a problem shared by most countries in the region thanks to our monsoon weather. According to the UNOCHA, 9.6 million people are affected by floods in ASEAN, so our user estimates of 1% of the regional population should be achievable. Overall, we plan to maximize our social impact in the long term by building flood resilience regionally as part of SDG 13 while ensuring our operating costs are covered, albeit at the expense of lower profits. Finally, our team comprises engineering, computer science, and biotech students who are passionate about solving Malaysia's current issues. The app prototype was designed by Regan and Jia Xiao. The business analysis were performed by Kevin and Faizwan, and I, Abraham, am your presenter for Team V213 of University Malaysia Sarawak. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Team Flood ID, helping you to prepare for the worst. Do you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you, Team 10. So the 3 minutes Q&A session will start now. So Judge Lim, you may go ahead with your questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Abraham. I think you got the potential to be a very good radio DJ or TV presenter. Very good presentation over there. So I was to focus on the way that you speak and all this, right? But I kind of lost track a bit on like the flood information that you captured, right? I know there's like this weather forecast. I know that you got this emergency response, but what else do you like capture the flood information from what sources?
Okay, we aim to use government resources as well as local sources such as flood monitoring stations, as well as information from users. They can submit a flood log when water levels rise in their area, and thus a local notification will be sent to users around via the Flood SOS network. Okay, and with all this data that you collected, right, how do you plan to like study or analyze before you present this data to users, or you don't process it, you just like wholesale when people pass whatever data you just presented to them? I believe this technical side can be handed over to Regan.
We will have a team to help to investigate. Firstly, we will help to ensure that all our users must verify their account. If they do not verify their account, they will receive lower priority during an emergency. So if they submit, if a flood request is submitted, flood warning is submitted from a verified account, it will be taken with higher priority. And so we will take analysis from nearby users. If the nearby users also submit the same thing, then we will confirm that it is something true and valid, and we will thus proceed to send the warning to nearby users and as well as the emergency services. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Maybe just one suggestion, right? I thought, I mean, if you can generate enough revenue to sustain your app, maybe you can consider installing like live cameras in commonly flood areas. Right? I mean, this can give people a live view of what's happening, on how serious the flood is happening at the area. Whether can they still pass through, or it's like totally blocked out in that area. Right? I mean, just a small suggestions. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Lim. Perhaps Judge Tien, you may go ahead with your questions.
Thanks for your presentation. Can you quickly show the screen that in your slides, the UI? Yeah, okay. So it seems like a bit clunky, your user interface. So I'm commenting in terms of usability. So imagine like I'm already like almost dying, and then I still need to learn how to use your app. Yeah.
Yes.
So I
So,
think your app can be better. Like, can you press on the SOS? What does the SOS does when you press on it? Flood
here you
rescue.
can, yes, here you can ask for flood donations after a flood, or ask for a rescue boat to pick you up here.
Yeah, so that is like too many steps in terms of like I'm already almost dying, and I still like, have to go through so many steps, and also at the same time I need to learn how to navigate your apps. So that's just one comment. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the feedback. We'll take that into consideration when we're developing the app in the future.
All right. Thank you, judges, for the questions. And thank you very much to Team Flood ID for their awesome and energetic presentation. So one great thing that I like about this project is the information sharing, especially during the flood, when you do not know what to do. These informations might be able to save your life.
Yeah, and also with the weather detection function and also the alert notifications, people can be prepared before the flood actually hits.
That's true. Prevention is always better than cure. All right, so now let us have a short break before moving on to the next team. We will continue at 11:25 a.m. sharp. So please be on time and stay tuned.
Alright, it is now 11:25 a.m., so all the participants, please get prepared. If you have captured any photos or videos of today's event, please tag us on our social media at @vhack.usm for Instagram and Varsity Hackathon 2022 for Facebook. And don't forget to also add the hashtag #DiscoverWhat'sPossible and feel free to visit our social media and official website at vhackusm.com. Alright, so now we are moving on to the 11th team, which is 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐤𝐢, and the team members are Muhammad Amirul Hakim bin Ghazali, Siti Nur Aisyah binti Razzi, Nur Adila binti Tanius, Farah Wahida binti Muhammad Tarmizi, and Muhammad Farihin Iman bin Muhammad Azhar. Team 11, please be prepared for your amazing presentation starting now.
Imagine having online classes from morning to evening, but you can't understand anything and you get blamed for getting bad grades. How would you feel? We have decided to choose case study 3 because due to pandemic, students need to assimilate with online learning method. Recently, a research on online learning shows that many students did not enjoy it because they are unable to understand what teachers are teaching due to limited resources until students are willing to pay for extra notes to help them, since it is quite hard to find the ones that are up to date and helpful. So to address this, we have developed a self-study application called 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐤𝐢 that includes fully updated illustrated notes, which are easy to understand, have better visualization, and straightforward. Furthermore, a guide to exam questions provided will tell them everything they need to know to solve the questions according to experts' approach. So how does 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐤𝐢 work? First, limited resources is one of the main issues for most students, right? So we provide a variety of certified illustrated notes and engaging class videos. Furthermore, if the users find it difficult to answer the questions, we have an augmented reality AR quiz and all of the past year's exam papers with step-by-step guides provided to help students answer questions accurately based on their syllabus. If the users have trouble concentrating and are constantly diverted in class, instead of solely reading, our application integrates audio-based learning, allowing users to concentrate better and repeat important parts in case they miss anything. So now we move on to the demonstration. Here we will show you how to navigate to our application. So this is the login page, registration, and then this is the home page. Click a subject and then click the premium section. So there's 2 notes and videos. So this is for the premium notes. This is how it looks like. So you click one of it, and this is how our premium notes section looks like. So for the premium videos, it's very user-friendly. So just click one of it, and then this is how it looks like. Okay. So then for the non-subscribers, we provide 3 sections, notes, quiz, and exam. So this is how our notes looks like. So this is the audible notes that we provide. And then for quiz, we have provided 2 sections, which are AR and MCQ question. So now let's take a look at AR first. So these are the levels. This is for the basic and intermediate, how the interface looks like. And then for MCQ, this is just like any other regular MCQ questions. You just have to pick a question and then click on your answer. Okay, last but not least, our exam section. So this is where we keep past questions and you can answer it. This is how it looks like. Okay, so we move on to business models. How do we make money in the future? 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐤𝐢 is a freemium type of business model where users can use it for free. However, for subscribers who provide a section, we provide a section where users can access premium notes and premium class videos made by external parties who want to publish their content through our application. So the pricing will be 7 ringgit per month. Since we want to sustain the app, we decided to charge yearly price at only 60 ringgit, which saved them 30%. For non-subscribers, they can access the premium section to try out this feature, but only for 7 days. As for premium notes, they can only access the first topic from every publisher, and same goes to the premium videos as well. Hence, we will receive our revenue from our subscribers, and these publishers will receive their money from the amount of content that they release, and bonus will be given to them based on the amount of users who access and rate their content. So next slide. How are we going to promote our application? Firstly, is through social media. We use Malaysian content creators to help boost our app to their followers. And secondly, by approaching our partnership to promote their content that they publish. Furthermore, is by approaching Minister of Education to give us a grant to help elevate our app. And on top of that, we plan to approach government, private, and international secondary schools, and we will hold an event to further explain to their students. Last but not least, we will convince NGOs to help achieve their objectives by using our application as well. Now we move on to the market segments. The target market we choose is high school students. Our market segmentation will be divided into two, geographic and demographic. For the geographic segmentation, we cater according to their age and education. Our product allows the user to choose which grade syllabus and also subject stream. For the demographic segmentation, we are all aware that the location of schools might differ in the syllabus of subjects like Bahasa Melayu, so we make sure to provide for them as well. Okay, next slide. We plan to get 5K active users by 2025 and get 600K ringgit. By the year of 2030, we want to achieve 250K active users and get 10 million ringgit. Lastly, we hope to cover most of the Malaysia with 1 million active users and get 800 million by the year of 2040. Now we move on to the competitor analysis. For this 𝐕𝐵elajar app, we want to promote the benefits of having this app as a high school student. We find that the teachers' incompetence in digital learning plays the main role for this problem. So we implement AR-based questions to improve their learning experience and also imagination. We also provide audio-based learning, different from ITTV and Dilemma. We want to help them also in terms of their physical well-being. And compared to Coursera, we also provide an exam paper guide from experts. We believe that this could help students in answering exam questions. Even though some of the online learning apps, such as Dilemma and ITTV, have followed the latest syllabus, the notes that we provide are illustrated, interesting, and most importantly, simple. Okay, so next slide. These are my fellow team members. So what's next for this app? In the future, we want to implement up-to-date UI components, and then we'll proceed with updates based on feedback from the users. And we want to add a community tab to enrich user-to-user interaction. And we want, last but not least, we want to add more interactive features that pique students' interest. We have come to the end of our page. For further inquiries, to contact us by scanning the QR code on the screen. And as of our motto, maximizing learning to the fullest, we are very excited to see how this app will help in the future generations in their digital learning process.
All right, thank you very much, Team 11, for your amazing presentation. Now we will begin with the Q&A session. So Judge 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐬𝐢𝐭𝐲, you may go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Maureen, for the presentation. So my question will be around the investment of this product, right? I know if you want to get people to use the app, your content must be good, it must be audited, then it will be able to help the students, right? So in order to start building all this content in the applications, you probably need school teachers to be involved, right? Because they are the one that's expert in the subject matter expert and can provide you with inputs before you can digitize the content to be in your apps, right? So how do you plan to do that? I mean, where do you get the upfront investment from in order to ensure you're able to build the content before you roll out and get people to subscribe to this app?
To make sure our content is according to syllabus and exactly correct for the high school students, we plan to approach teachers that have received awards from the government so that they can review our notes. And actually, our notes and videos are also made by teachers and also people in the education industry, so they can cross-check with each other about the syllabus and how correct our content will be before we post it online.
You need to pay them, right, to get them involved.
Yeah. You have to pay them, yeah.
So you have to ensure that you have sufficient funding before you kickstart on this project, because that would be a huge investment that you have to come up with, and make sure your content, everything is designed in proper before you can actually start rolling out and get people to subscribe. So bear in mind, I mean, you will have a lot of huge investment, and down the road, maybe if you cannot get enough subscription for your apps, right, then all this investment will be gone. Okay, take that into consideration when you design for this. And the other things that I noticed is you mentioned about augmented reality learning in earlier of your part of the slides, but I've not seen it go through, subsequent demonstration, right? So will you be able to, elaborate a bit more on this augmented reality? How do you plan to deliver this AR learning through this app? That's all I have. Thanks.
Hello. So to answer your question, so basically AR question is just like a tool for students to help visualizing the question itself. For example, in our prototype, we include one of the question. For example, it says that a car moved 1 kilometer towards Hakim. So our AR questions helps them to visualize and have a better imagination of what is actually the questions looks like in case they don't really understand the questions. So I hope that answer your question.
Yeah, so I got what you mean. But then again, this AR will be just applied for a very basic learning, like maybe primary school. If you go up to like secondary, if they have like a very complex problem to solve, then you will probably have to think hard on how do you want to deliver this AR learning, because it will not be easy. Right? I mean, you cannot like just build the car moving to you to measure the distance. This is not what they learn. They learn a bit more detailed than that, right? So then you probably have to have a specialist in that area to really look through the syllabus and think of how to deliver it through AR learning way of deliver the modules. Okay, yeah, that's all I have. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Judge Rustan, you may go ahead.
Okay. I guess my question would be a follow-up to Judge Lim's again, because my question is that educators are not content creators, right? And then content creators are not educators. So how do you actually, yes, your app presents the avenue to have AR-enabled learning, to have interesting graphics, but then if the educators in the first place do not know how to package their content into that kind of format, then I guess, you still have this kind of chicken and egg problem, right? Because you're not educated to come onto your platform, but they do not know how to generate AR-enabled questions, and they do not know how to make colorful infographics. So how do you plan to solve this problem to make it easy for educators to make use of your platform?
Okay, thank you for the question. About that, we actually plan to go to approach each schools and create an event where we can teach them how to make AR, how to use our application, and if they would like to add in their notes, we will also give them commission if they want to, if their notes are good enough. So we will set the guidelines and teach them. Well as for the event, we will teach them and also promote our application at the same time. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much to Team 11 for presenting your project, and thank you to the judges for your questions. Indeed, it is an interesting way for students to learn, and I believe all students all have different learning styles, so this platform seems to really cater for them.
Yes, I agree with you. Perhaps it could also help students to be more eager in learning and promote self-learning as well. All right, so now we are moving on to the 12th team, which is 𝐕𝐵. So let us hear more about 𝐕𝐵 from the members lim-Jing-Yao, 𝐕𝐵𝐾𝐬, Lo-Yuan-Min, and Marcus Miao-Zi-En. Team 12, please be prepared for your presentation, and you may begin now.
We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus from team V241, and we proudly present to you 𝐕𝐵. Before we carry on, let me briefly introduce ourselves. These are the 5 members in our team, and we are computer science students from University of Malaya. Without further ado, let's hop into the problems and solutions. We chose the 4th case study, Poverty White Flag Movement. Malaysians struggling amid a strict lockdown are flying white flags outside their homes as a plea for help. All these actions are resulted from facing hunger and financial difficulties in the sense that they have been pushed over the edge. Other than that, we are aware that a small portion of individuals are shy to ask for help. To work things out, we provide several solutions or the so-called features in our apps. Here is the overview of our app features, and I will demonstrate our prototype now. When we first launch the app, the users can register as donor or recipient. After they register as a donor, they can choose which request to help on the main page. To protect confidential personal information, only the nickname of the recipient will be shown throughout the process, and the donor will only be able to see the full address and message the recipient personally once the request is accepted. Next will be the donation tab. Donors can also donate in any amount to our foundation for charity purpose and choose to be anonymous. The donors, most of the time, the money will be spent on fulfilling the request, which is unaccepted for at least 3 days or any other emergency. The donors will also be able to see the foundation statistics in current tab. Moving on to the next step, the reward section allows them to redeem vouchers sponsored by our collaboration partners with points which are converted when they donate or accept requests. You may say that this is an attraction for donors to donate, but our main intention is just to give a sign of appreciation to them. The last step will be the news section, which allows donors to read articles like what is happening on the recipients and also the list of food banks nearby. Let us move on to the recipient interface. So they are able to request for items such as food, beverage, and other basic necessities in the first step by default using points. Yes, with points. So we only provide one-off points to first-time registered recipients based on their household incomes and number of dependents and etc. So after they click on the post request button, they will be directed to the second tab. So this is the page where the user have to click on the receive button to ensure the requested items are delivered. Recipients can also have a view on their use and remaining points, request status, and as well as the history. You may wonder what if the points have been used up. So they can click on the Find a Task button, and this will lead them to the third tab. This tab provides a list of simple tasks requested by our collaboration partners, and they can complete the task in exchange for more points. The reason why we limit the points is to encourage them to pick up the task and earn their living with their own effort. We want to emphasize that always receiving is not the solution in long run. Instead, we hope to solve the root cause in a way that a connection is established between companies and recipients, whereby job opportunities may be offered. Finally, the recipients can read similar articles as the donors in the last step. So let us get back to my slides. C2C is our business model, so the donor will donate and the recipients will receive. Profits will only be used to support our organization's operation. Before we launch the app, we will ensure that there will be at least 3 collaboration partners who sponsor us both the money and also tasks. Our application would have 2 types of revenue streams. First and the main one, ad revenue. We plan to use the CPM model, which will generate payout based on the views, and also the product placement, where we promote sponsored companies' products in the list of items that the recipient can request. Besides, a small portion of the donation will be used to maintain our application and sustain our business. For market segmentation, we have 2 types of users. So for donors, we target Malaysians with average household income above 8K, any philanthropists or enthusiastic individuals with kind-hearted and generous traits. Also, we hope to help the B40 families or other families which face financial problems at that moment. So in terms of competitors, there are similar systems such as Sambal Sauce and My Bendera. What makes us special is that we have our own foundation to help the victims directly, and we will disclose how we use the money every month. Furthermore, therefore, transparency is guaranteed, and we also encourage recipients to earn their own living. Furthermore, we have the fixed collaboration partners to support our apps, as a budget is needed for an organization to operate. Lastly, we always uphold our principle of keeping our recipients' identity a secret. Before I end my presentation, I would like to talk about our future plans. For a long-term plan, we wish to look for more influencers or celebrities to support us for a stable foundation. And if the demand becomes lesser in our country, we might change our target audience to the citizens of any neighboring countries which are suffering from poverty. I guess that's the end of the picture. So thank you.
Thank you, 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐚𝐬. So the 3 minutes Q&A countdown will start now. So Judge Lim, you may go ahead with your question.
Sure. Thanks, Marcus. My question is, maybe you can help me to understand your target segment for donors, right? Why are you limiting it to like more than 8,000 ringgit Malaysia to be the donor?
Okay, so for the market segment, we put this, it's actually just to show that maybe the people might be more able to help those recipients, but actually we target any person with kind-hearted and generous traits. So any person can just donate if they want, if they are able to help.
Yes, agreed. So I would suggest maybe to remove point 2, because I can earn 30,000 a month, but if I'm not willing to donate anything, then also no point, right? So anybody can donate. Even I earn 2,000 a month, I can also donate half of my money. I mean, if I'm really willing to donate, right? So this is a very important point. We don't limit the donors. My second part of question is, can you go back to the donor screen in your prototype?
All right. Let me wait for a while.
Sure.
For the donor screen.
Okay, so I see it a bit. I mean, first thing is, how do you ensure the confidential is being protected for the people that seeking help? Right, in this screen, you basically can see like who is it from which place that's seeking help. Right, as a donor, I can have the access of this list. Right, I mean it's something that you have to be considered. Second part,
so
sorry, let me finish my second question. Second part is, instead of more money driven, because you listed by monies, right? Can we like turn it around to put it like goods driven? So you probably listed like for example, beverage, how many beverage of specific brands that people need most. So as a donor, I know, I mean, if I don't want to donate in monetary terms, I can actually donate in terms of goods. I can actually purchase X number of goods and fulfill this request. Yeah.
All right. So to answer your questions, so first, the name shown in here is the nickname of the recipient. So it's just a nickname. It depends on the recipient to put any name for them. Okay. So and here it will show just the area and also the category of the things that the recipients need. And for this, the price, we actually want the donors to see how much actually the estimated price, how much actually they need to donate all these things. So after we click in, they can actually see what the items is requested, so they can based on themselves to give the things that the recipients wants. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I would suggest to turn it around, instead of very specific on like in dollars, I mean in ringgit cents, right? Make it like in terms of goods. Because if I'm willing to donate, sometimes I don't bother about how much it costs. It's like, what are the items that's most needed by the people?
All right.
You can consider this aspect. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Judge Lim. Is there any other questions from other judges? All right, if there's no other questions, thank you very much, judges, for the questions. And thank you, Team 12, for their amazing presentation. So I totally agree with like saying that we shouldn't keep feeding them for free. So instead, we can help them to work for their food, clothes, shelter, and etc.
Yeah, it's kind of like the saying, like if you give a man a fish, you only feed him for a day. But if you teach the man how to fish, then you feed him for the lifetime. So who knows, they might actually be able to learn a skill or two. Alright, so now we are moving on to the 13th team, Fresh. And the team members are Kenneth Chong Yi Hao and Corgi Pei. Team 13, your time starts now.
My fellow judges, I think it is something very extraordinary when two passionate boys, after about few days of brainstorming, researching and revamping, can proudly present their final plan at this stage. When we talk about food insecurity, people might concern on the situation in Nigeria, Haiti and other famine countries after hearing their stories. People like us might even glad that we are born in the country without famine. But the real question is, did Malaysia really secure from the food insecurity? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? As we all know, lack of local food crops occurred frequently in Malaysia due to natural disaster and insufficient workforce to harvest the crops. Fluctuation of crops price occurs when the demand and supply of the crops is unbalanced. Not only that, long and complex supply chain might decline the quality of crops and increase the selling price until it is unaffordable by people. Thus, food insecurity is happening in Malaysia. To overcome all the problems mentioned just now, we proudly introduce you our idea, Fresh. Fresh, a mobile app to overcome the food security issues in Malaysia in terms of price stability, crops availability, and nutritional balance. There are two main features in Fresh, namely farm life location and demand analysis. Farm life location is the feature specifically for the users, which provides the geolocation of the farm nearby so that they can visit and buy fresh crops with an affordable price. For info, farms are usually around us, but we are unaware of it. The minor features provided under the farm life location are catalog of farm, pay online, and promotion info. Decline quality of crops and unaffordable selling price can be solved by the farm life location feature. Without the long transportation, the quality of crops is preserved, while crops can be purchased in the cheapest price without going through middlemen. This can also prevent food waste during transportation. According to the research, 80% of food waste happen during transportation. For the next important feature, demand analysis, is the feature specifically for the farm owners, which provides the analysis of demanded crops at certain period of time by using big data analysis. Harvest time tracking. The minor feature under demand analysis is a feature which shows the estimated harvest time of crops planted. Problems like lack of local food crops and fluctuation of agricultural product price can be solved with the analysis provided. Farmers can aware with the high demanding crops. This might prevent the lack of supply in market. Besides, farmers can arrange the workforce wisely based on the analysis provided. For example, the farm owners can allocate workforce to the targeted crops, which currently on demand. With both features provided, farmers now can plan effectively in Fresh. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about the values of Fresh, allow me to categorize it into three categories, which are values for customer, values for farm owner, and lastly, values for Malaysia. For customers, Fresh provides a better alternative to buy cheaper and higher quality crops. Besides, promotional info will be provided. Secondly, for farm owner, analysis is given to them so that they can plan the time of harvest and manage the manpower wisely. Fresh will help to prevent oversupply of certain crops so that the farm owners won't sell the crops at low price. Besides, Fresh help to expose the farms to more people, easier for the farm to get customers. Lastly, the value of Fresh to Malaysia is securing the country from food insecurity. Food security can impact all levels of society and the economy of the country. With Fresh, less budget will be spent in crops import, and it means that more budget will be distributed to other sectors. You might wonder who are our target users, right? Fresh is targeting the farm owners and consumer. Fresh market is million or billion in scale. According to the data provided by Department of Statistics Malaysia, the demand of agricultural product is increasing since 1970s. As vegetables and fruits are the basic daily needs, Fresh has a huge market potential in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, the figure shown is our business model canvas based on lean canvas. As problems, value proposition, and market segment had been explained, so let's look at the first section, which is channel. To increase the insight of fresh and non-fresh user, the advertisement on YouTube, Instagram, and agricultural fair will be used as our channels. For fresh revenue, we are targeting seed funding from NGOs and UTP Technopreneurship Office for the startup. Moving on to the annual cost structure, we estimated to spend a total of RM0.763 million for the fresh implementation. This has included 11 employee salaries with RM48K each annually. The key matrices we have are ads maintenance, user feedback review, advertisement, and platform promotion. In addition, several unfair advantages, including the strong connection with UTP Technopreneurship Office and Petronas, will further assist us for the business. Ladies and gentlemen, we have compared different existing methods and platforms for customers to purchase agricultural products. Comparing with these 4 criteria, as Fresh not only provides the freshest and cheapest crop, Fresh also available for price bargaining and self-select option. This has proven that Fresh is the best among the other competitors. This is how our future steps looks like. Firstly, we will start with app development where we will require partnership and investors. Next, we will undergo several testings to debug the app. After launching the app, maintenance and upgrade process will be conducted regularly for sustainable operation. With Fresh, I truly believe one day Fresh will be the pioneer apps that successfully overcome the food security issues where they can meet their crops' preference and dietary needs for an active and healthy life, starting in Malaysia.
Alright, thank you very much Team 13 for your presentation on Fresh. To the judges, you may begin with your questions in a 3 minutes countdown starting now. So Judge Wilson, you may go ahead.
Okay, so my question is on how you would envision the demand forecasting being useful to your farmers. Because I mean, I guess the demand analysis would change, the frequency would change probably at the scale of daily, right? But I mean, farmers cannot grow plants in one day, right? They probably take 1 month, 2 months for the crops to grow, but so I guess would it be too late? I mean, for the farmers to be able to even react to the data or the demand analysis?
Alright, thank you for the question. So to answer this question, let me explain how we're gonna take the data first. So how we're going to analyze the data is that we get the data from maybe most of the farms in Malaysia. Like the farmers, the farm owners will provide us the data of when they're going to plant the certain crops. Then we gather all the data and then we can analyze that at that period of time, what is the total supply of that certain crops at the market. And then we will do the analysis like the daily consume of certain crops, and then we can compare the demand in the market and the supply in the market so that we can conclude that what is the demanded crops during that period of time. Okay, explain in the easier way is that we will analyze what is the crops not yet planted by the farmers yet, and it has the high potential to be a lack of supply in the market. So did I answer your question?
But I mean, because your time horizon for your prediction is probably months ahead, right? I mean, you need to project into the future very far, but then you need to plan today in order to meet for perhaps 2 months down.
This analysis is specifically for the farmers who not yet to plant yet. Okay, in a normal situation, farmers will plan their time to plant certain crops maybe 1 year or as usual. Like maybe 1 year before or what. So it's okay. They will provide us the data when they're going to plant, and then we will provide the data to the farmers who are not yet to plant yet. So this is our idea.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Judge Sinlu, you may proceed.
Yeah, I think exactly that point, I'll just continue a bit. How sure are you the farmers are willing to share their data to help other people? They may see that as competition. That's the first thing. And secondly, I kind of feel puzzled. Why must the things you sell must be cheapest? Malaysian have this mindset of cheapest is lousy, right? Does it help you to grow your business? Thank you.
Okay. So I want to answer the question about the cheapest is the worst lah. Okay. So about that, fresh is a special case because as we know, most of the situation where the price is high is that the cost. Like for example, if the crops is sold by middleman, then of course the price will be increasing, right? Because middlemen also want to get a benefit. But in this case, the consumers can directly buy the crops directly from the supplier, from the farm owners. So this means that without the middleman, it will save the cost between that. And then the quality is also the best. Like you cannot because in these apps we only allow the consumers to go to pay to collect at the farm physically. So it promised the best quality and the freshest condition of the crops.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Right.
For you to think also if you want to improve the idea. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much to the judges. Unfortunately, our Q&A time allocation has ended, so we will have to proceed. All right, thank you again to Team 13 for your awesome presentation. I think it's also really cool that, we can see the live locations of the farms wherever we are. And I do hope that this app can be deployed because it is really convenient for us to get the freshest food directly from the farm instead of, having to pass through a third party.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely it'll be useful for the farmers as well, as they are able to analyze the various kind of data and work things in a more efficient way. So now, hope that all of you are still awake as we are officially down to the second last team. So let us pass the time to Flow Wave, and the team members are Sam Jolly, 𝐸𝐤𝐤𝐿, Tan Chun Fang, 𝐕𝐚𝐫𝐚𝐬𝐿, and 𝐸𝐤𝐧𝐚. So team 14, you may begin with your pitch.
You fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. Very good morning to fellow judges, ladies and gentlemen. We are Team V277 presenting to you our solutions flow wave to case study 1, flash flood. Flash flood is not new in Malaysia, but recently we see it bringing more harm and destructions than ever before to the society, as you can see in the slide. So we decided to step up and solve the problem. Upon researching, problem causing flash flood including poor drainage system, lacking of flash flood warning, slow relief actions. All of this especially true when it comes to the situations in Klang Valley. Our solutions focus on those 3 problems mentioned beforehand, solve it elegantly. Smart drainage system is our ultimate solutions to fully eliminate flash flood. Cheap and accessible IoT sensors will be installed by stage on large scale to monitor water flow in real time. Machine learning model continuously feeding the data to pivot water flow intelligently with control gate. Of course, it's impossible to have smart drainage system installed on day 1. That's why we have flash flood forecast and warning alongside. Using a wide range of data from satellite to rainfall, we forecast the probability of flash flood to happen using sophisticated neural network. Making use of phone's powerful AR technology, water level can be visualized such that to create awareness to the public. Now you may ask the underlying technical details of our solutions. Specializing in machine learning, artificial intelligence, we use TensorFlow and open neural network exchange to formulate our machine learning model, feeding with data from IoT, from NASA, from open weather,
to estimate flood water level with the help of high school physics formulas such as water pressure. Finally, present the results in augmented reality with 3JS and AR.JS Studio. While we're trying our best to prevent it, we shouldn't omit the chance that it still happens. Flash flood relief is the answer to that. Evacuation path is smartly crafted to avoid unreachable routes, and drones delivery support is used to reach to places where traditional transport is simply impossible. To prove that our ambitious solutions is feasible and viable, I'd like to show you our prototype demonstration. First up, we alert users to potential floods using the color that we're most sensitive with, red color, right in the homepage of our app. Supporting data like nearest flood, drainage optimizations are shown alongside. Besides, notifications will also be pushed to users regarding the change of risk. To visualize how serious the potential flash flood could be, user clicks the AR water level analysis to show the predicted water level due to flash flood using augmented reality. Furthermore, users can see how IoT sensors behave by checking the app. This creates reassurance to public where FlowWave is transparent in making sure that public are safe. When victims are stuck at home due to flooding, they can choose to get food and daily supplies directly via the app using the drones provided by our partners like AirAsia. Now, of course, there's a dashboard for the admins like AirAsia to manage the delivery request. Sometimes it's not us, but our lovers, our siblings, our friends who living in areas prompted to flash flood. Sometimes they're elderly who has no access to the internet. That's why we allow users to check on flood risks and forecasts on other areas and states as well, so that while keeping ourselves safe, we take care of others. Lastly, in our demonstrations with the locations of evacuation centers on our hands, making use of AI to avoid flooded and unreachable routes, users will be guided to nearest evacuation center based on the best route designed by FlowWave, so they will reach the destination safely, minimizing hassle. We've carefully planned FlowWave to be sustainable in long runs, making sure FlowWave is always accessible and operating 24/7, preparing for flash flood. That's why our revenue mainly comes from government and private sector subscription, as we rely a lot to local authority to have IoT sensors installed and public reach. Also, since we have huge database retrieved from IoT drainage system, we open for agencies to buy our data and results for their own benefits. FlowWave targeted a wide range of users, but our main focus are people living in areas prompted to flash flood, agencies that provide support like local evacuation centers and NGOs, local authority working on water solutions like NANMA and SMART. Here's the comparison between our solution FlowWave and solutions being implemented here in Malaysia, more specifically My Public Info Banjir and Flood Nearby. While competitors provide superior information system to the users, we take a step ahead, making FlowWave actively providing initiative and solutions to our customer, helping them to recover from disaster. Heavily invested in machine learning and artificial intelligence, our team comprises of undergraduates studying computer science specialized in AI, so that FlowWave is always up to date with latest technology and service, so that FlowWave is always intelligently supporting people in needs. Planning is crucial for an ambitious project such as FlowWave. We forge connection with multiple agencies and corporations within the next 6 months. After that, getting the funding we needed to implement FlowWave, actively implementing in Klang Valley within the next 2 years. Slowly expand our solutions to whole Malaysia in 5 years' time. In FlowWave, we believe there's no harm in hoping for the best, as long as you prepare for the worst. People buy medical insurance to prepare for disease, Financial planners are there to prepare for financial crises. Here in FlowWave, we prepare for disaster. Thank you so much. Back to the organizer.
All right. Thank you, FlowWave. So the 3 minutes countdown starts now for the Q&A. Judge Yap Man Fong, you may proceed with your question.
Yeah, finally I have something quite interesting. I mean, I heard a lot with your IoT and neural network stuff. Can you elaborate more on how okay, some suggestion first lah. Because since you are mentioning IoT is your unique selling point compared to other competitors, you should have more focus on this lah, rather than making your apps can do everything. This is my first view lah. You should focus on the neural network and the IoT things. But can you elaborate more how IoT? Because I saw you say measuring the pressure, you can know predict a flood. How does it work?
Okay, so I have some illustration to assist. So the IoT sensors, basically you can see as the diagram on the right side. On the drainage system itself, we install like a small cheap and accessible IoT sensor device, which will detect like the water flow speed, the water pressure, and the water height level. So basically these cheap IoT sensors will be installed like, for now we'll install it each per kilometer. So each kilometer will have one IoT sensors. And it will continuously keep sending the data to our backend system. And it will be combined with the other APIs such as the NASA Earth API and the Open Weather to retrieve the weather information. And so that we can accurately like to modelize to be fit into the neural network and get the result we want. So we can simulate how the water will flows out from the river and which area will it covers to. Yeah, will it flood.
Okay. So it's like a flow meter, for example, like those clients in IFM, they have it. So, okay, how do you install the flow meter underground? It's with water. And how are you going to do a wiring and stuff?
Yeah. Basically, these cheap IoT sensors will be installed on the roads, right? We have a lot of manholes. That's basically the big holes that which we can access to the drainage system. So we are going to install that from there, and we're just gonna just attach it on the surface on the wall of the drainage system. Yeah. So this is what we are planning for now. And for this IoT sensor device, it wouldn't be too expensive. So upon of our research, it will be cost as of 2020, the price of one IoT sensor device is below $1. So yeah, so we believe that it's one of the feasible solution. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, feel free to contact me. I'm looking for IoT sensors. If you can get a $1 one, I'm very interested.
Yeah. So we are looking for.
All right, thank you.
Okay, never mind. We leave the other judge.
All right, thank you, Judge. Yep. So now perhaps we can move on with Judge Howie. You may proceed with your question.
Yep, thanks. I can I can definitely see the value in all. I mean, obviously, having the idea is one thing, but the execution will be key. My question is that from listening to your presentation, it does seem like the project is very dependent on government contracts, and as you know, this is extremely tricky. And as you probably also know, that there are a lot of people vying in terms of presenting their solutions to the state governments or to the government agencies. So I would like to know, since you are requiring the state to pay for a subscription, I would see that would be an uphill task as well. I just want to hear from you, if are there any other alternatives of you getting traction, and in what ways that you would potentially getting traction if, for example, the government is not on board, which is highly likely. Yeah.
Sure. First off, I believe I have 2 points to share. So first off, I believe like the government share the same vision as us, because they are actually constantly improving their flood detecting system. So we can encourage them. Yeah. And on the second point, if they fails to get on board, we can still get a lot of contracts from the private sectors. And this is from one of the slides. Sorry. Yeah. The private sector. So what we're gonna do is we have a lot of private companies that has big warehouses or offices that are in the flood-prone area. So what we're gonna do is we get them to subscribe to our service, and we will install more IoT sensors in their area, and our forecast system will be optimized to detect the flood around their area. So also the AR analysis on our system, they can help the companies to visualize how high the water level can go, so that they can pad up their stuff and just to avoid financial loss and more damages. And I believe it's a huge market.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the judges for the questions. So due to the time constraint, we will need to move on from this session. And thank you very much again to Team 14 for their great presentation. As we can see, this is kind of a fascinating combination of hardware and software. So it could definitely save some lives in different ways, especially in a dire situation.
Yeah. Actually, I do think my favorite part would probably be the AR water analysis to visualize the depth of the floodwater. I think it's really cool to see that in action to help people predict the severity of the flood. All right, finally, let us welcome our last team, Alpaca Help, and the team members are 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿, and 𝐷𝐸𝐿. Team 15, please get ready for your presentation, and you may begin now.
Alright, so hello everyone. Today I'll be representing Alpacaverse to talk about our project, Alpaca Help, that tackles on the case study 4 in this hackathon. So let me introduce to my team. So we have 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿, 𝐷𝐸𝐿, and me as the presenter, 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤. So let's start off with why did we choose this case study 4? Case study 4 talks about the white flag movement that have occurred during the MCO period in 2021, where due to unemployment, families are struggling to make ends meet. So they raise their white flag to ask for help. So, and based on the data by the Labour Force Malaysia, there's still a high amount of unemployment, even if it's trending downwards due to a subsiding MCO. Luckily, Malaysians do have the will to help, as the white flag movement and the Kita Jaga Kita campaign was quite a successful one. However, there's a trait among Malaysians where we tend to get discouraged to do something if we get slightly inconvenienced by it. So, with that in mind, our solution prioritized on simplifying and streamlining the process of helping the needy instead of promoting the intention of donating itself. So we propose a mobile solution that aims to connect the donors, people in need, and resource centers together. And with the user group connected, they'll be able to obtain relevant information such as location, contact details, items in need with each other quite easily. Besides that, our solution offers more methods for a donor to contribute, such as hassle-free methods of donation to the resource center, as to push hesitant but kind-hearted individuals into helping the cause, and also provide tools needed for individuals to open their own resource centers. So with all of these features in mind, donors will be able to donate to the person in need and the resource center directly. People in need can also go to the resource center or the student center to get help, and resource center will be able to gain more donations and help more people as well. As good as this entire process sounds like, it is not a sustainable solution to the problem. Therefore, our team is proposing something more. So for the extended solution, my team proposed setting up a thrift shop marketplace in the platform. Why a thrift shop? Well, first of all, it helps people to get items in a more affordable price. And second of all, it helps people to earn money quickly by selling things they do not need. And with this feature acting as extension of our solution, we'll be able to make this project a more self-sufficient one, which leads us to our business model. So as for our business model, we have 4 ways to gain revenue. Firstly, we have food packages commissions, where we take a small cut from the donor to buy food packages for the resource bank. Secondly, the project would seek partnership and advertisement to provide a more stable revenue, especially at the start of the project. Next, we will charge a small amount for the shop listing in the thrift shop as well. And finally, we'll be able we will accept direct donations from users who want to support the platform directly. Next, we'll be talking about our market segment here. Firstly, we have kind-hearted individuals who want to donate for the cause. And subsequently, we'll also be serving those who are in need, which is like the unfortunate individuals that request help from others. And next, we have resource centers, whereby we provide them with donations and food packages while they provide their details to the system. Finally, we have thrift shop users. We call them thrifters, which are folks who want to save or earn extra cash. So, following that, we have our competitor analysis, which we split into two sections. First of all, we have sambal sauce, which is what our project hopes to be a successor of. Even though it's a well-developed project, it lacks the sustainability factor that Alpaca Help has. Plus, our project provides more features and options that pushes individuals into helping those who are in need. Next, we have e-commerce competitors to our thrift shop, where Carousel and Shopee are our competitors. Whereby Carousel runs a similar business where users sell second-hand goods, but we can reach a wider audience than Carousel in Malaysia by partnering up with resource banks to reach up to more users. And for the Shopee, where it's a more general market where both retails and second-hand goods are sold there. However, Shopee's model is not catered towards thrifters, so our platform may realistically gain an upper hand in this sector as well. So moving on, let's start with our prototype demonstration. So as for our prototype, this will be our main page. Our main page have a map to show all of the three important things there, the resource centers, the pseudo centers, and the SOS signals. We can also view the SOS listings, check for more details. And then for people who do need help, they can go to the request SOS. The request SOS, you can fill in the relevant information and stuff and submit it for processing. Okay, after that, we have our resource center, which is the one that we are partnering up with. We have a lot of relevant information, especially the stock status. The stock status will able to help those who are in need and those who want to donate to go to relevant locations. So for example, if I want to donate, I'll donate to low stock. If I want to get something, I'll go to the high stock ones. I'll go to the location as well. You can check out the information. You can donate to them directly or buy food packages as well, which are going to take some small cuts from it. Next, we have our center setup. Our center setup is the pseudo centers that we talked about, where it's similar to SOS. We can fill up the information and also give the application to process. Next, we have our marketplace. For our marketplace, we have our listings like an e-commerce model would. And then we can also, if you want to buy stuff, you can go to the like the categories and then go and purchase some items as well. Okay, so that'll be all for our application. So now you know what does our application is capable about. What is next? For our project, we hope to further pivot it to the thrift shop e-commerce model, where we can expand the functionalities and business models around it. In the charity side of things, we hope to create our own resource bank, especially in areas where people need it the most, extending help to those who really needs it. So that will be all of from our presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
All right, thank you very much, Team 15, for presenting your project Alpaca Help. So now we can move on to the 3-minute Q&A session. So any judges would like to ask the question? All right, Professor St. Louis, you may go ahead.
First, yeah. I like the idea where you integrate the thrift shop, but the whole thing is, why not team up with Carousel? Share the profit or something, then you don't need to worry about the e-commerce. You can focus on your idea, while Carousel won't be your competitor because they can become you anytime, right? So I think that's where it's a win-win, while you leverage on the existing platform that you have wider reach too. I don't think you have faster reach than Carousel.
That is a very good option. However, we do feel like it will be over-reliant on other people's cooperation. So if you rely on like those kind of platform too much, they might do something that will deviate from our true goal, which is to help people in the first place. So we do believe that although we might be small and not as far-reaching as Carousel, we will be able to catch them off guard, as they are trying to focus their market base more on Singapore rather than Malaysia. So in that regard, we were probably able to hopefully get the upper hand in that regard.
Okay, so you want to go against the big boys? Yeah. Okay. Good ambition. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Judge, for the question. So if there are no questions from the other judges, I believe we can also wrap up the Q&A session now. All right, thank you once again to Team 15 for your amazing presentation. I think after the very thorough explanation from 𝐷𝐷𝐻, we can see that it is very important to have sustainability in a charity project so that it can potentially help more people in the long run.
Yes, I agree with you. By implementing the thrift shop features in this system looks workable. So since we have so many examples outside, so it will probably work to keep this kind of charity system going. So once again, thank you 𝐷𝐷𝐻 for your presentation. Well, that was a tedious yet exciting session for all of us. The final round of 𝐕𝐚𝐬 2022 has finally come to an end. We believe that every participant here is relieved that the most intense part of 𝐕𝐚𝐬 is over. So time to relax and enjoy yourself. But don't forget that the award ceremony will be held live tomorrow, and all top 15 rankings will be announced along with our other exciting awards, namely the USM Award, 𝐷𝐸LNext Award, Most Supportive Partner Unity Award, Best Business Idea Award, and Most Popular Team Award. Well, some of you are probably planning different ways to put the awards to good use, right? So we would like to add a comment here. Everyone here is a winner. It doesn't matter which team prevails in the end.
Yes, I agree, because what matters most is the experience and knowledge that you have gained throughout 𝐕𝐚𝐬. We hope that all of you were having fun presenting your creative ideas to our professional judges. And of course, not to forget, a very special thanks to our judges for sacrificing their precious time to be with us today for this event. Now, before we end our slot today, we would like to remind all our participants that we will be having a networking session tonight at 8:30 p.m. Once again at 8:30 p.m., where there will be very interesting games to let you connect with other 𝐕-hackers from all around the world. This is an exclusive networking session organized specially for our 𝐕-hackers. Thank you once again to all the teams for your amazing effort and to all the participants watching the live presentation. See you at tonight's networking session.
See you tonight. Goodbye.